Is it a working? Perhaps? I hope so. Hello, world. Hello. Yay, here I am. Oh boy. Hello everyone and welcome back. It's your host Michelle, aka Chat-Mort, and thank you so much for returning once again to my humble little channel. So it's nighty by time here and I'm up anyway because I just felt like I could do maybe one or two more productive things before bed, so I decided I would do, as you can see, what corner do I gesture to? This one? This one. This. Yes? This one? Here. Quizzes. We're doing quizzes. Yes. So, I have done a couple of these in the past, just the Pew Research Center quizzes. I believe the ones I did previously were, the political typology quiz and the political party quiz. So I really do like the Pew Research Center quizzes because they are pretty interesting. They seem sort of unbiased and they're at least grounded in some small measure of research as opposed to simply just nonsense. So I thought I would do a couple more of these. If you don't mind, give me just a moment, friends, and I will tweet out that I'm doing this. Where am I? Am I in my thingy? I'm not in my thingy. Let me find myself. Where am I? Help! Wait, no! Whoo! There I am! Okay. That's me. You can hear me. My audio's good. That's good. I'm relieved. Somebody already liked the video. I love you. Thank you so much. You are my homie. Okay. I will tweet it. I will not share it on Facebook because I have Facebook people out there who hate me. I had a big day today on Twitter. I didn't mean to. I was not, like, I didn't have my phone with me the vast majority of the time today, but I had a little, like, mini controversy that occurred. So I tweeted this thing today, and it's a two-part tweet thread thing, and I muted almost everybody who responded to me, which is not something I do typically. I don't like doing that. I hate blocking people unless they are, like, sending disgusting gore type things to people or truly actually harassing people. If people are saying vile racist things, obviously, I will block people. If people are doing something sick and illegal and sending threats or, like, gore at somebody or something like that, you know, with a menacing intent, I will report them, obviously, first and then block them. But I also don't like muting people. I just think it just feels cowardly, but I muted a ton of people today, and I actually blocked one guy who just would not, dude would not leave me alone. And, like, the thing is, a lot of the people I end up blocking on social media, primarily Twitter, I almost don't ever block people anywhere else. A lot of them are probably people I would get along with in real life, you know, and that's what's sad about it. I try to be as fair as possible and as consistent as possible with the people I block, and I try to do it as rarely as possible. Absolutely as rarely as possible. But occasionally, people are just on some bullshit that I do not feel like abiding, and I end up blocking them. So, I wanted to show you guys, I'm just going to read you the two tweets I did earlier that people, like, lost their minds over, and I thought it was a pretty reasoned couple of tweets. I wrote, first tweet, I don't like a lot of what Trump has done. The precedent he's setting of signing executive orders. I can't talk. Hi, Cheesy Tits, nice to see you. Hi, Gonzo Duke. Hi, Allie, and hi, Scrappy. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Yeah, I said, I don't like a lot of what Trump has done. The precedent he's setting of signing executive orders every time he doesn't get his way is going to spell disaster in the coming years, and he's a terrible speaker. But do you know how you turn millions of people into his fans? And then the second tweet was, you turn him into this godlike apocalypse-bringing figure with your incessant vocal terror of him. You belittle what the Nazis did by comparing a senile orange man to the unspeakable evil. This constant, ultimately impotent railing against him gets him the presidency in 2020. So, people didn't like that. People didn't like that I said that signing executive orders when the other houses don't do what you want them to sets a bad precedent, and people got very angry. Everybody pointed out the fact that Obama signed a ton more executive orders and did a bunch more unconstitutional things than Trump. One, which I told many people, where did I say otherwise? When did I say anything to contradict that? Two, how is that relevant? I never said that Obama wasn't more unconstitutional than Trump. I never said that Obama didn't sign more executive orders or abuse his power more than Trump. Never anywhere did I say that. But everybody lost their minds. People read not even a fourth of my statement and they freaked out. Because if you criticize Trump even a little bit, there are many people out there who, they do not care if it's valid criticism. They do not care if you are making a point that ultimately supports him or the Republican Party or whatever in the end. If you say one bad thing about the God King Emperor man Trump, they lose their minds and they have to point out that Obama was worse. I'm not stupid. I know Obama was worse. Obama was far worse. What did I say to indicate otherwise? When did I say anything to indicate otherwise? I didn't. Obama's being an awful president, probably the least respectful of the Constitution of any president in the history of the United States of America, is not relevant to my statement whatsoever. Not relevant. And people lost their shit. And the sad thing is, a bunch of these people are probably people I have a ton in common with. They're people I would be like overjoyed and really encouraged if I ran into them in real life, because they'd be like, yeah, you're a Republican, brother. I'd be like, well, I'm not, but okay. And they'd give me a hug and a pat on the back, and they'd be like, yeehaw, America. And I'd be like, God bless you, sir. I'm gonna go back to putting gas in my 2006 rusty car, you know? But it's just one of those things, you know? I'm sure the one guy, I got really mad at the one guy. I'm like, dude, I'm doing things. I've got a life. I've got a day. I've got stuff. I've got people. Things are going on. I don't have time to be reasoning with people who cannot be reasoned with. Like, if you want to point out respectfully that Obama was worse than Trump, that's fine. That's totally fine. And it's true. But it's not relevant to my statement at all. My statement that is more pro-Trump than anything else. Trying to warn people that when they're constantly screaming and rallying against Trump with stuff like the stupid Mueller thing, is that how you say his name? Mueller? This was why I was making this point. The media is hysterical about Trump all the time, and they're making him this boogeyman. They're giving him power that ignoring him or treating him like the semi-senile old dude that he is would not give him. That was the point. That was the entire point. Obama being worse, true, in no way, shape, or form relevant. Why would I put that in a tweet where I'm so limited in my number of characters? So there was this one guy who was like screaming at me, not screaming, but he was being really snide and condescending and thinking that he was like showing this stupid little leftist millennial moron that he thinks I am, because clearly he can't read. And I responded to him saying something to the effect of, I think I actually tagged him, because people read the first tweet where I said that I don't like some of what Trump does, and they didn't read the second tweet, which was clearly the second half. It's clearly a thread. I didn't put in parentheses one of two, because we're not dinosaurs. This is not 2008. We all know how Twitter works. You would hope. It's a thread. There's a literal like little thread going down to the next tweet. I ended the first tweet with a question implying that there's clearly a second tweet with an answer to the question. And so I actually tagged this guy what did I do? I quote retweeted my second tweet and tagged the guy and said something like, if you're not capable of reading more than a fourth of my statement without frothing at the mouth and screaming at me about something irrelevant, I do not have time to try to reason with you, and I'm going to block you. If you're that irrational, I'm going to block you. And he said some really snide thing like, well, if you're incapable of being honest or being factual about Obama being worse, then I'm like, and boop, bye-bye. Bye-bye, all gone. No more angry men. Bye-bye. It's really, really frustrating and tiresome when people are so distraught when somebody says anything about their God King Trump, even if ultimately it's you know, supporting him even though I am subtly criticizing some of the things he did. It's just really frustrating when people are like that, who I probably would get along with really well in real life, who I might even be friends with. You know, we have more in common than we do, that we differ on, as far as our worldviews, as far as our political opinions, our, you know, religious philosophies probably. But because people can't read beyond like the first three words of what is very clearly a much more multiple worded statement, you know what I mean? They hate me. They think I'm some like angry little Trump hating SJWE millennial progressive. It's like, no, you're an idiot. Muted, blocked, bye-bye, all gone. So, whew, I'm sorry. I'm ranting. But anyway, that was real irritating, and it was just one of those days. Like, I actually went out and did things today. Like, we hung out with my mom and my stepdad today. We went out to eat, we did all this stuff. My fiance did a bunch of like tech support stuff for them. I actually saw one of my stepdad's grandkids, who's like close to my age. It's weird, the age difference there, but you know, like, we did all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time for your bull crap. Like, if I was sitting at work and it was a really slow day and I'm just like picking my nose and like hoping something gets jammed in the printer, and, you know, like praying that some company has a huge problem that I have to like correspond with them to help solve. On a day like that, I might be like, oh boy, a dumbass. I can't wait to be really snide and childish and petty to you on the internet and pretend I'm being productive and contributing to society in some way. On a day when I actually have stuff to do, no, bye-bye, all gone. I don't care. I don't have time to worry about you. I'm sorry. Be a good partisan and dunk on Obama like you're supposed to, Michelle. No kidding. Whataboutism exactly. Say it Mueller, like he takes a long time to mull things over. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Quick summary. People are dumb. Bring on the newts. Correct. Euthanasia is quieter. Indeed. Even if it was just me being euthanized, it would be a mercy at this point. Anyway. Yeah, so I had a pretty good day. I got my copy of my favorite CD of all time in the mail. It's beautiful. Stop with the glare. I act like there's any way to make the glare go away when all my screens are like white with windows open. Hello. Hello, little tiny friend. Bye, little tiny friend. Curly is my favorite artist of all time. I was talking about that on a Twitter thread. Maybe you guys saw it earlier. But Curly has been my favorite singer for over a decade now. She's amazing and unique and incredibly talented. Yeah, it's night here, cheesy tits. Go have fun. Go be good. Go be a productive, happy member of society. I'll see you later. Oh, I touched my microphone. Is it still working? Okay, thank God. I'm so paranoid. But, so this girl has been, because she makes alternative music, she's been struggling and struggling and struggling. Because the industry will not release anything that doesn't sound like cookie cutter, identical, like Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, rap, pop garbage. Like, if you do not fall in line and make music that is completely interchangeable with all the other music, the industry will not. They'll shelve a project that you spent your whole life working on, and they're just like, sorry, we don't have time. We know that your whole life is on hold waiting for this music that is revolutionary and could change the world. But much like they did to Queen, as I found out from the movie, I knew nothing about Queen at all until I watched the movie. They called the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. They didn't even play the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody in it, so I've still never heard Bohemian Rhapsody except for the little chunk they played in the movie. Whatever. If you're not identical to everybody else in the industry, they are insulted by the fact that you have the audacity to be unique in some way. You know, God forbid anybody unique actually does anything successful. Like, it's not like people like Billie Eilish or Lorde or Lana Del Rey or people like that are actually wildly successful. It's not like being unique actually is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, who'd be crazy enough to think something like that? Sorry. Who is it? Her name is Curly. It's Estonian. Can you see the letters? Will it focus? It ain't gonna focus, is it? Look, focus. Focus, webcam. Let the people see the word. Let them see. Focus. Hey. I spent so much money on you and you won't focus. 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 Please focus. Webcam. This is the worst stream of all time. It's spelled like that. Kerli. It's her first name. It's Estonian. But anyway, so Curly has been making music for years. It's gorgeous. It's unique. It's pop, but it's very dark. It's sort of like pop alternative rock a little bit, very much electronic music. It almost sounds a little bit like Imogen Heap's music, but mixed with pop, like very transgressive dark pop. Freaking love this woman. She's the most remarkable, unique woman, and I really admire her. Anyway, so like she was gonna put out an album back in like I want to say like 2011. She had her second album that she was gonna put out. Yes, like that. Thank you, Scrappy. And the thing is, like, all of her songs got leaked. Almost all the songs off the album got leaked. And obviously, if your songs are out for free on the internet, once people get a hold of them, they're going to spread them around. They're going to start, like, making them free downloads. So you're clicking on their sketchy download sites and they're making money off of that. People have been sabotaging her attempts to make art basically since she started. She's from Estonia, and Estonia was one of the places that was heavily occupied by the Soviet Union. And people there, not so much anymore, but they were incredibly close-minded. They were incredibly resentful and disdainful. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Her name is Curly, and the album is Shadowworks. Yes, thank you, Scrappy. Yeah, it's spelled Kerli, Kerli. But like I'm going off on a tangent. Obviously, I'm here to do Pew Research quizzes. Oh, my cat's gonna fall down from the sky. She's coming. Oh, there she is. Oh, that was the tiniest little smack because she's so tiny. Don't leave. Okay, she left. Never mind. I'm on a tangent, but I'll get back to that. I promise. But like she came, she won, I think she won a singing contest when she was like 14 or 15, and she lied about her age to get into it because she was too young. It was like a very, very small, like, Estonian version of American Idol. The second singing contest, she came in like runner-up, like second or third place. And I think one of those two competitions, I think the first one, the one that she lied to get into because she was too young, that she won, she got a record deal. But the guy who she was signed with got dropped from the label, so everybody that he signed got dropped. So she lived in Russia for most of her being a teenager as a songwriter. And she actually like lived in this like abandoned old house where people were like doing drugs and having sex in the rooms around her at night, and she ate nothing but rice for several years living in Russia. She was so poor. And she became an incredibly talented, well-rounded songwriter there, and she wrote some huge Russian hit, but she doesn't really like to talk about it. I don't know, because she doesn't consider that to be she doesn't consider it to be relevant to her career, since it was just songwriting for her that didn't have anything to do with the art that she wanted to do. She was writing for other people. Eventually she came to America. Her first album came out in like 2007 or 8, Love Is Dead, and it was really, really pretty. That was the first album I found of hers, and it changed my life. So she's been, you know, trying for years to get her art out, and what she has put out it's exquisitely beautiful, unique, otherworldly, and it's very, very well produced and very well written because she herself is an experienced professional songwriter. Why are my cats murdering each other? Because that's what cats do at 1 in the morning, I guess. But because she went away after she moved out of Estonia and was a songwriter for several years and didn't like make it big immediately, like the national newspapers and the media in Estonia, if anybody failed or any business failed, they called it curly syndrome. That's how unbelievably cynical and judgmental and close-minded this culture was at that time. Anyway, so the thing is, I don't want to go into that too much because it's not really relevant to her efforts or her art or anything that she does. But there was I don't want to say because that's really incriminating, one of the biggest pop stars of all time, who is now a famous award-winning actor too, as of very recently. Curly ran into her when they were both starting out in LA in the music industry, and Curly met this woman and knew she was going to be big, and she told her, you're going to be huge, you're really good. And the girl was like, oh thanks, kind of arrogant, and just arrogant, which she is all the time. So this woman, who is a wildly famous pop star, one of the most famous singers right now, who's had like a bunch of platinum albums and stuff, and is treated like this incredible, unique, wonderful, groundbreaking artist, who has plagiarized countless other artists as far as their songs, their lyrics, their aesthetics, their very specific like makeup looks and outfits and photo shoots. This woman, there's a period where this woman actually plagiarized almost all of Curly's photo shoots, all of her like hair and makeup combinations, like very specific detailed looks and things like that. And there was a period where, because this person got wildly famous around like 2009 maybe, this person was copying everything that Curly did as far as her look, to the point where Curly was being mobbed by this person's fans, because like her first CD became wildly successful and went like platinum or something like that, and she had 4 #1 hits or something off of her first album. And because she was more popular, and because people are zombies and they look for gods, they look for people to mindlessly idolize, no matter how devoid of integrity and honesty they are, people were mobbing Curly and attacking her for ripping off this other person's style, despite the fact that Curly would completely change her hairstyle and her makeup style actively, because she was trying to stop being mobbed by this person's fans. And this person would change their style again to completely mimic Curly's style about 2 weeks after Curly would change her hair color from like the platinum blonde it had been since she was little. She changed it to blue. 2 weeks later, this woman's hair was the exact same color of blue, and she was performing and doing photo shoots in the exact same makeup looks. Curly would change her hair again. One time she did an experiment where she dyed her hair like highlighter yellow, like the color that my name is in chat. I don't know if it comes up the same way for you, but she dyed her hair highlighter yellow. And at that time, MySpace was still big, and she would do photo shoots and post them on MySpace. And she did this look with like highlighter yellow hair, and she did like a really like a glitter heart with like sequins around one eye, and like a black lipstick, and a specific outfit. Like, she did something really, really weird and unique. Without fail, 2 weeks later, this wildly popular singer had the exact same highlighter yellow hair and did a glitter heart around her eye and black lipstick and all this shit. Like, this woman now for 10 years has been plagiarizing Curly's looks and photo shoots. Not all the time, because she's gotten so famous now. She's got millions and millions of dollars, and she's got like all of the greatest like fashion stylists and like directors and creative directors and all these people styling her. So occasionally she actually does something semi-original, even though it's just because she's got a team doing it for her, despite the fact that everybody, she's lauded as, oh, she's this amazing, unique, super inspiring person who does things that have never been done before, despite the fact that the few things that she doesn't plagiarize from very small artists, which is the only way she can get away with it, are blatantly from Madonna. People still think she's this incredible, like, trailblazing, groundbreaking singer, whatever. So that was really shitty. I don't want to talk about who it is that ripped off her shit, because she's already incredibly popular from plagiarizing other people's work. I don't like even talking about her. Yeah, you might be right at peace. But yeah, it's one of these things where I've always been this way. I've always been very, very idealistic to a fault. My whole life I've been this way. I hate what I consider to be vapid. I hate what I consider to be shallow. I hate everything about like the mainstream like pop culture that's constantly shoved down our throats, like this bizarre garish sexuality that like tries to be authentic and visceral but isn't. Everything about like the media where people are constantly pandering to like LGBT people and minorities without actually giving a shit about them or doing anything to help them. Just the way that the media and especially like the music industry is pushing this like totally egotistical, selfish, dishonest, money obsessed, sex obsessed garbage without any, you know, I despise everything to do with that. And when somebody is like wildly successful, without doing anything original, without doing anything unique, and yeah, those things might seem unique and original because she's ripping them off of much smaller artists because she knows she can get away with it. Yeah, she's going to get a lot of accolades for it. She's going to get a lot of credit from people and be treated by people who desperately want to suck up to her and get attention off of her and her rabid zombified fans. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's going to happen. Ooh, I'm so angry. I'm sorry. I get angry when I talk about her. It's one of those things where people think, oh, because I'm following this person who's got like millions upon millions of views on all of her videos, who does nothing but talk about everything that's wildly successful in our culture, wildly popular. She does nothing but talk about sex and pander with empty words to the LGBT community and pretend to care about all these people and in the most superficial ways possible pretend to be unique. Because I am one of her millions upon millions of fans who are all identical in our obsession with her and are just creepy, downright creepy, pathological idolization of her, that makes me edgy and unique. That makes me special. That makes me like a real LGBT ally. Like, you could not be any more fake if you tried. I had friends who told me to my face, no, you're lying. I don't think that's true. When I showed them evidence that this woman, every 2 weeks, on the dot, she is ripping off Curly's style. Curly is actively going out of her way to, like, dye her hair different colors, change her makeup and her outfits to try different things because this woman's fans are attacking her. Because they don't care that she's clearly ripping off Curly's looks. This woman is clearly doing this. She is clearly, there's abundant proof everywhere that Curly is doing these photo shoots on MySpace 2 weeks before this woman shows up doing all of her concerts on, you know, international tours and all this shit in identical outfits, makeup and hair. Identical. This is not just like weird coincidence. This is not just like, oh, she was just doing Lolita looks, or she was doing like cybergoth looks, or, you know, she was just experimenting. No. Identical, blatant ripping off of Curly's aesthetic and her photo shoots. I'm so angry. Where was I going with this? How did I start this sentence? When I was showing people blatant proof of this, I would print out proof and show them, look at the date this was posted on MySpace. They're like, no, I don't think so. And they'd go back to like their little art project. Like, are you kidding me? You are so zombified, you have so little integrity, you are so obsessed and desperate for an idol and a god that I'm showing you physical proof that this woman is blatantly ripping off everything Curly does, and you're so zombified and like obsessed with your favorite singer that you're gonna call me a liar when I'm showing you that she's doing these things. Like, you're that desperate to pretend that she's a good person. It's, as somebody who obviously I try not to let it define me or be a huge part of myself, and I try not to let it be one of the outstanding characteristics I have. But as somebody who's struggled with mental health and depression, as somebody who's been bullied and been put down and told, no, you can't do everything that you dream about, as somebody who fits into the LGBT community, thank you for destroying everything, cats, I love you. It's really insulting. It's really, really insulting to watch somebody who is so vapid, who is so self-obsessed, who is so sex and money obsessed, who is just so angry and bitter and so shamelessly plagiarizing other people's styles and not giving a shit. It is really irritating to see somebody like that get in their, you know, their cute little Vapid award show where everybody loves everybody else and it's totally rigged and nothing about it is authentic. Where everybody's like, yay, let's give this award to this person who is a champion of mental health, who overcame all these struggles. Yeah, it's really hard to overcome struggles when you're blatantly plagiarizing off of other people to get where you're getting. That's definitely somebody authentic and trustworthy and honest who deserves to be praised as someone who is like the epitome of overcoming mental health issues. What a load of shit. What an unbelievable load of shit. But of course, in Hollywood, in the music industry, in places where being as greedy and nasty and awful and egotistical and dishonest and corrupt as you can be is like that is the most incredible thing to those people that you can possibly be. When she's the epitome of that, of course she's going to get all the awards. Of course they're going to, in their little safe delusional bubble, you know, applaud her as like a champion of mental health issues and overcoming them and horse shit like that. This is a Christian channel and I'm going to calm down right now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I get off on tangents and I get really angry. You know, it's hard. It's real hard. But anyway, this singer has been absolutely sabotaged by people very intentionally for years, even to this day. A decade later, this woman has made like 8 platinum albums and stuff and done duets with famous people and banged, you know, like ugly chads who everybody likes in Hollywood and all this stuff. And she is still plagiarizing Curly's photo shoots. Still. This woman who, like, her most popular music video has maybe like 5 million views. She's still so desperate. She's still so devoid of any actual inspiration or authenticity or integrity or originality that to this day she's ripping off this girl's photo shoots, her fashion. It is absolutely... It's surreal to me that someone who has so many millions of dollars, who has a team of like the best of the best when it comes to fashion designers and editors and makeup artists and hairstylists and directors, music video directors, you have all that and you're still so incapable of doing anything unique or artistic that you're still ripping off of the same girl. Why is this happening? Stop. I don't know why I'm dropping so many frames. I shouldn't be. Maybe the cats are eating. Let me know if I'm, like, dropping too much. If my audio's okay, I'm fine. But... Or, yeah, if my video, if I'm dropping frames, I don't care. If my audio's okay. But please, you guys, don't hesitate to let me know if it's getting really crappy. If the... quality of the stream is getting okay. Thank God. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just don't want to be like dropping frames and ranting here to myself, you know. I am so angry that I've completely lost my voice. Very good, Michelle. You haven't even started the thing that you started the stream to do, and you screamed and now you have no voice. Okay. I'm sorry. I go off on a tangent like that sometimes. Because I loathe that woman. She is the epitome. She is the embodiment of everything just repulsive and nauseating about our vapid, shallow, disgusting, you know, media and pop culture. Oh, I'm so angry. Anyway, so yeah, Curly tried to release an album around 2010 or 11. Almost all the songs on it, I've been told almost all of them except for one got leaked. Obviously, if your songs are free, the label's not going to pay to have it put on a CD and mass-produced, or even pay to have it put on iTunes, because they're not going to get as much money out of it, because the songs are already out there. Somebody did that. Thank you, whoever that was. She did a couple different things. She's done a lot of beautiful... I don't want to say EDM type music, but she's done a lot of electronic music where she did the vocals for other people. A couple really beautiful songs. And I think she signed with a couple different labels, and she did release a couple singles. In 2016, finally, she released 3 gorgeous singles. Feral Hearts, Blossom, and Diamond Hard. And Blossom by Curly is my favorite song of all time. It gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it. It's one of the most incredible, powerful songs I've ever heard in my life. But for years, she was just going to different record labels. Nobody would let her do what she wanted because everybody wants to make generic cookie cutter forgettable pop music because that's what sells. Nobody wants to do something unique. No one wants to do something alternative, even if it is technically sort of in the pop category. So several times she fired the entirety of her management team and went somewhere else. And finally she got so sick of the just garbage, totally unfair, you know, completely impenetrable to anybody who wants to be unique music industry, that she moved back to Estonia. And she built her own studio there in the forest and started recording her own music. That's when she made the 3 singles that came out in, I think they all came out in 2016 unless one came out in 2015. Each of them had a music video. Each of them was backed on, not Kickstarter, but Pledge Music. And everybody who backed them got them on CD and got the digital copies of those songs and the instrumentals and stuff. I'm distracted by my kitties. They're like oozing under this chair and then they're like emerging again in a very kind of unearthly horror movie-esque way. But they've got to do what they've got to do. They're probably eating spiders under there, so it's fine. And finally, it was in 2015 that she started working on her first independent album. And she like opened it up on Pledge Music and people started supporting her then. So she produced it independently. She did it not affiliated with any label because no label is willing to, you know, nobody is willing to push anything or produce anything unique anymore. And how many years later is it? It's 4 years later that finally this album, the entirety of this album that we all donated money to and pledged to, has come out, Shadowworks, and it's amazing. It is the most beautiful album I've ever heard. The vocalscapes, the pieces that are entirely like vocal instrumental without words are gorgeous. They're kind of Enya-like. They're kind of Imogen Heap-like, but better. They're just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful music. And it's so weird. Hi, Domino. Please don't walk near my microphone cord or just walk directly over it. That's fine too. Nice kitty. It's just so weird. You know, I finally got my physical copy of it today. And I don't know. It's just, it's really, really cool. I like to be looking through this and to see the thank yous in the back and to see my name in there. As one of the people who, you know, I pledged as much money as I could afford at the time. It's just, it's cool to have been able to help with an independent project, you know, completely independent and external from the music industry, which is very little music and mostly industry. So I'm still in awe that I finally have this. I bought it on iTunes because unfortunately, until it was actually released, they couldn't start shipping these out to people because people are gonna leak the songs. So I bought it on iTunes, I pre-ordered it, and then I bought a copy, like I bought a physical copy myself, and then I got my copy with the bundle of stuff that you got for supporting her on Pledge Music. So I finally have it, and it's weird and amazing to finally have it. It's really cool. So I've been thinking about that a lot, and I have not listened to the physical CD yet because I've just been listening to it on my phone a bunch. But it's really cool. What's happening? Nobody's screaming at me anymore about the Trump tweet, so that's good. That was I'm sorry. That was exhausting and irritating in the worst way possible. Bless you. Bless me. I'm sorry. I burped. I don't know. I'm not sure how to correctly handle this. Anyway, so this all to say, actually not to say at all, completely irrelevant to what we're here for. I thought I would do a couple more of these quizzes from the Pew Research Center. Good stream, very good stream, 10 out of 10. This stream gets a 10 out of probably like a million. So, I have not been doing any, like, they're not reaction videos per se, but I have not been doing any of the, like, political commentary videos that are scripted and recorded and edited as of late. I've just been doing streams, and the thing is, my heart's just not in it when it comes to the recorded videos. I don't tend to have a lot of time to do it, but more than that, I've been struggling to find any, like, cultural or, like, socio-political issues that I'm really, really inspired about. And I'm one of these people, like, I'm just so sensitive, and I'm psychologically very brittle is the most honest word that I can think of to describe it. I'm going to drink soda whether you want me to or not. I apologize. It's delicious. Where some people can just, like, focus on the news all the time, and they're like, oh, that frickin' Trump, you know, every day they come into work, or, you know, frickin' not Trump, or whatever, you know. Some people are just able to like, listen to NPR, or Fox News, or MSNBC, or whatever it may be, all the time. I am not capable of that. I go in cycles where sometimes I'm capable of it because I do feel a responsibility to pay attention to these things and talk about them, whether people are willing to listen or not. I have to try. I feel that way because I don't feel like I deserve to live in such a prosperous country any more than anybody deserves to be born into a country where they are going to be oppressed and afraid for their life and, you know, persecuted or even killed for wanting to speak their minds or criticize the government or be homosexual or something like that. Like, I'll never be able to make it right that I was born here and some other person who deserves to be happy as much as me isn't or wasn't born here, but I have to try. And this is, like, speaking out about it and what I believe to be the truth about protecting democracy and spreading prosperity to the rest of the world, as opposed to, you know, destroying this one beacon of hope that is America, with socialism and, you know, ultimately just progressivism that leads to communism. While I feel that way, and while I want to talk about political issues that are going on and the creep of progressivism and, you know, legislation starting to rule and govern every minuscule aspect of our lives, I just go in these cycles where sometimes it just makes me so depressed. It screws with me and makes my depression and anxiety so bad to dwell on that constantly when I feel powerless and when people are just so stupid and greedy and angry and short-sighted that, you know, progressivism is going to destroy the country whether you speak out or not. There are times when I just, to preserve myself psychologically, I have to pull back a little bit. And then eventually I'll feel a little bit more resilient. I'll feel a little bit more capable of handling that kind of stuff, and I'll be able to distance myself emotionally and on, like, a very, very deep level from it, and then I'll come back, you know. And I go through these cycles, and I feel like it has not affected my channel that much. I feel like I've been pretty consistent about putting out content, like 1 to 3 videos a week for the last... I've been making videos for like 3 years now, which is a really weird thought, like, consistently. But the streaming is a little bit easier to do. It's a little bit easier to do impromptu things where I'm just I'm off the cuff flippantly discussing my opinions with you guys as you guys bring them up in the chat, than it is to have to, like, look at an issue, to, like, Google it and, like, print out 3 different articles to make sure I'm getting the quote right, and to make sure I'm getting a good feel for what the media's take on this is. Having to digest that, having to write a script about it, having to, you know, like, read that script and repeat it to myself so I kind of get the words down, and then having to recite it, having to recite every line several times because I'm incapable of saying something right the first time I say it, then having to edit that video and then watch it obsessively like 30 times before I feel safe putting it on YouTube, And even then, the first like 3 watches, the first like 3 views on any of my videos are me, because I'm so scared. Like, I uploaded the unedited version. I left in like I don't know, like a fart or something ridiculous and stupid. I'm so paranoid that there's gonna be something in my videos that I obsess over them. So you can kind of see how when there's that much of me like fixating on and obsessing over something, that's me dwelling on that really, really depressing or upsetting issue to me. That's way more time and energy I'm devoting to that issue than when I'm just chatting with you guys like this, kind of off the cuff, with a buffer of us doing something fun like this sort of in the background to fill, you know, the time. So, I mean, I will get back to those videos, possibly, but I just, at this point, I'm kind of at like not a crossroads necessarily, but I don't know where I want to go exactly with my channel. Obviously, I want to do political, cultural commentary. I'm very passionate about that. But I don't necessarily know that I want to make my primary way of delivering that content to you guys the scripted, edited videos. At least right now, the stream format is resonating more with me. And I have to kind of do what resonates more with me if I want to put out content consistently. And I want to, because yeah, I have 3 patrons and like 2 of them give me $1 a month or something. But those people, I mean, that's remarkable to me that anybody thinks that what I have to say is noteworthy enough to be like funding it monetarily. That's miraculous to me. That's more than I could ever ask. And just the fact that 850 some of you guys care about me enough to subscribe, that is a massive compliment, and I feel like I owe it to you guys to be putting out content that is at least somewhat inspired and feels genuine and authentic. Just like a wizard worked for me. I'll try it. I have to have like a black cape somewhere from my Hot Topic days. Also, hi Magog, I hope you're doing well. I watched your video on the update on your channel, and I left a nice comment, but at the moment I don't remember what it said. But I hope you're doing good, dude. You think I have a unique channel? I think how much I stumble over my words might be unique, I don't know. Scripted and edited videos are good for making clear and concise points. Streams are good for letting people get to know your personality. Well, that's true. That's true. I think that might be more why my streams resonate with people, because I'm passionate about political and cultural stuff, obviously, but as you guys can see, thousands and thousands of people are. And when you know, everybody saw people like Sargon and Shoe-on-Head and people like that getting popular, and everybody wants to be the next person like that. Everybody has a political opinion, you know, whether they realize it or want to acknowledge it or not. So it's a very, very oversaturated market. No matter how like impassioned I am about delivering a message about political stuff, there are going to be at least 100 other people out there saying it in almost an identical way, you know? So I guess it is possible that part of the reason why my streams seem to do a little bit better, or why I enjoy streams better, is because it is more unique, you know? Nobody is me, and I think I do enjoy watching streams of people's a lot more than I do just watching their scripted videos. It just depends. Some people are better at some things than others, but I do like being able to be myself more, because I love writing. I absolutely love writing, so I love scripting videos, but like, that is one side of me that, you know, that's me voicing things worded in like the best possible way I can come up with, but it's not like authentic, goofy, like fumbling, belching, accidentally mid-sentence Michelle. You know, it's not the me that I am the most of the time. The me that I am the most of the time, there was at least one too many that was in there. It's unique from my list of subscriptions. Well, that's good. How not to procrastinate. Quit trying to make it perfect. Well, that's a good point. I'm obsessive over things like that, and like, you look at a lot of the people who've made it big, not necessarily that that's what I want to do, but people can be wildly successful without it being perfect. sometimes the editing matters, and like YouTube itself will always send you emails like, you need to have a better camera, you need to have, you know, perfect sound quality. But a lot of the time it does come down to the quality of your message more than anything. If what you're saying resonates with people, and if it's heartfelt and it's just a well-delivered message, that does matter to people more than those technical things that make it look shiny and pretty. Be a maiden of Morscar, and then you can be the maiden of the month and gain new subs. That is so scary, Magog. I would love to, but holy crap, you know how scared I am of talking to people, and like, I have such bad stage fright. I don't know. I have to think about it. That's so scary, dude. I make fun of cable news networks and point out where they lie, and I got 242 subs. There's no explaining it. Just do what you love. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hell, Magog is a rejected wizard from School of Slytherin, and he has tons of subs. But it's what he loves to do. Hufflepuff is going down. I don't know, Magog. That would be an absolute blast, but I'm such a weenie. I'm so freaking scared of, like, big audiences. Like, do you guys know who Chat-Mort is? He did like the first Christian documentary ever. I freaking love Satch. I was like a huge fan of his before we became friends. Now he's like one of my best friends. But there have been a couple times when he sees I'm streaming and he has like everybody from the Chat-Mort Discord come like raid my channel. I just about faint from how bad of a panic attack I have when all of his like freaking meme monsters come over and just brigade me with absolute nonsense. I get so scared when a lot of people pay attention to me. Obviously, part of me wants people to pay attention to me or I wouldn't have a YouTube channel, but also it's terrifying. Side quest sounds like a good place. I know. I know, man. That was like the tiniest burp. It would be fun to be a maiden of Morscar, though. Wouldn't it? I would have to, like, lint roll my, like, cape that I got at Hot Topic in, like, 2006. Oh, that's true. Yeah. It's a cosplay thing. Get a medieval costume, create a character, send me pics with a sword or whatever. I have several swords, actually. I actually have some katanas now. My fiance has katanas. And, like, for the longest time, I was like, we need to get a gun. I am a flub. I cannot, like, lift a 5-pound weight without feeling like I'm seeing the tunnel and, like, God is calling to me from the end of it. I am so out of shape. I am such a weenie. I am awkward. I am clumsy. I'm the perfect target for somebody to, like, rape and murder and, like, chop up into, like, perfect little cube Chipotle chicken pieces and, like, sprinkle throughout, you know, all of the ditches across the entirety of the American Northeast. I need a gun. We need to protect ourselves. And he's like, why? I have katanas. I'm like, no, that doesn't work. But anyway, I do have swords. Katanas are a specific, not very Morscar type sword, but you can be a socially awkward maid of Morscar. I guess so. I've never had a stream. Streams came along after I stopped making content. Really? Katana maiden of Morscar, but that's cultural appropriation. People are gonna lose their shit. Man, I don't know. You need a pistol. Pistol. Basics. Practice. Practice. Ammo. More ammo. Did someone say, freaking go home, CIA. You're drunk. I don't need this right now. Yes, it is a CRTV behind me. A CRT TV behind me. This is here. Why is this here? Why is this here? I got a bunch of my mom's stuff, actually, because she got married and she moved out of her house. So she was like, I've got all the stuff and I don't want to move it with me. Do you guys want me to dump it all at your house? And I was like, no, but I'm a hoarder and I don't want it thrown away. So sure. We have a chair, the most like repugnant, like velvety mustard yellow chair in the world over there. $1. at an auction. This thing was like $15 at an auction, and it works. We have like a really old DVR thing hooked up to it. It's really fun to like hear that satanic like ringing like in the base of your spine and behind your eardrums when you're falling asleep on the couch down here watching TV. It's very charming. Just making sure you're safe. Thank you, CIA. I swear on my life, I'm fine. If somebody had a gun to my head or something spooky was going on, there's no way I would be able to be this calm. You got a blonde white guy as a dark wizard. I guess so. Very, very blonde. Very, very white guy. You have to pay people to remove them. That's a good point, yeah. They're like, I don't even know. Are there like demons or some shit in tube TVs? I like it. It's vintage. I could hit a home, what's the word? A home invader over the head with one. Perhaps. Okay, that's true. Yeah, they have the Asian cultures. They have katana-like blades. Well, I'll think about it. I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it. I just need to be... I need to embrace my destiny of being an e-thought, or I'm never gonna get anywhere. That's all it comes down to. I did a stream. Well, I did one stream with Scribe Light. You guys know who Scribe is, I'm sure. If not, Scribe is the best. Go subscribe to Scribe. Why are you here? What are you doing with your life? But I did a stream with Scribe talking about the Chris Watts case, the lunatic guy who murdered his wife and his teeny tiny adorable toddler children because he's awful. So I did a stream with Scribe about that because I watched his stream on it and it was really good, and I started messaging him about it because I found a lot of like true crime stuff on YouTube from Scribe. So we did a stream discussing that, and then I did a stream recently, like half a week ago, just going over my final thoughts on the Chris Watts case, the couple things that I either didn't say in my stream with Scribe or things from videos that I hadn't seen yet at the time because there's just so much footage about the Chris Watts case. Thoughts that I have gathered since then. And I got way more views on that than I have on many of my videos in a long time. Like, normally it takes like months for my videos to get to 100 views. And to this day, I am not sure if it was the ample cleavage that I just decided to put on display for that video, or if it was the fact that I was talking about hideous murders. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both, but it seems like the cleavage is the way to go, or at least the selfies, or the promotion of my physical, my countenance in some way, shape, or form. I could see you as a noble lady with a fancy dress, or maybe an elven warrior with a bow. Aww! I do have a really old crossbow. Again, I don't know how I acquired it, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it, Magog. I will have to do it. I'll have to do it! I have to find my cape. Boobs help everything. I concur. I absolutely concur. I don't know. Murder tits. I like that, yes. And people are still... Okay. People are fine on Twitter. The people who are enraged at me because they can't read more than a fourth of a sentence without frothing at the mouth and having a stroke because I said something that might have hinted at the minutest bit of Orange Man badism, they all went away. So that's good. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that we should do some absolutely riveting, earth-shattering Pew Research Center quizzes? Do you guys have any opinions? It's 59 minutes into the video, and I'm like, do you guys want to do the thing that I showed up to do? Can you see my... Yeah, you can see my cursor in OBS. Good. I'm sleepy. I'm sorry. I'm acting weirder than usual. I don't know. What do you guys think? I should have found some, like, far more heinously atrocious thing, like the, like... What are some of the worst quizzes I have done thus far? I did a bunch of, like, are you autistic quizzes. I paid $2 to get the answers emailed to me to one. And I did like I've done a bunch of like which anime character from this show is your boyfriend quizzes. Those are a little bit more entertaining than these, I think, just because they're so agonizingly embarrassing. Okay. I will, Magog. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will do it. I will. I don't know if I'm going to go with the katana or the bow, but I'll figure it out. Hi, Nuvi. Welcome. It's alright, I just got here. I appreciate you waiting. I didn't get a notification. Well, of course you didn't. I've had people say, I'm not even... Like, what threat am I? I'm an imbecile in my musty basement with my tube TV. What does YouTube have to fear if people actually watch my videos? I'm not doing anything scary or of consequence whatsoever. But, yeah, I had people say recently on one of my streams, I didn't know you were making videos. I haven't gotten a notification in over a year for you for anything. Like, it's a little bit disheartening, but that comes with the territory, I suppose. Goodbye at peace. You could go with both a katana and a bow, be a ninja archer. You know, I could launch the katana with the bow. Wouldn't be a very precise form of combat, but I will. I'll send you some pics, Magog. Thank you so much. I wasn't even thinking about that. I could do that. I could be a maid of Morskar. It's fun to do like little photo shoots. I don't know what to do. Do we want it? I don't know. I feel like religious typology quizzes are just asking to make people, like, enraged. But anything that I'm interested in enough to talk about is fodder to enrage strangers. That's because YouTube has changed their focus to the corporations and away from the independent creators over the last couple of years. Yeah, I actually... we had two of our best friends over last night, and I was talking with, like, one of my best friends, her boyfriend. We were talking about YouTube and how there's so many wonderful aspects to it, but how frustrating it is and how discouraging it is now. Like, you can't even do the littlest thing. You can't say one scary, mean thing. If your memes are just, like, the slightest bit too dank, you're in huge trouble. Whole channel demonetized, whole channel just annihilated with no warning, even if that's your and your family's mainstream of income. Just gone, no more. Yet all of these horrible, gross, awful, talentless people who are wildly successful singers and rappers and whoa, that was loud, things like that, like, they are fully monetized because they're big enough that they make YouTube money, you know? It's atrocious, and the hypocrisy is surreal, you know? Like, at least put in your terms of service, put in some clause, put in, like, some bullet point for, like, things you can't do. That's just really, really vague. Like, at least explicitly tell people that basically if you don't like them, you're screwing them over and they're gone. So people know to be prepared for that. But you just can't, I don't know. You're already enraged. Go ahead and enrage everyone else. Cool, alright. You don't have to have a weapon. Be a mage. Pose with your hands casting magic and all that effects. That could be fun. The Heartless are a group of witches in Morskar. Okay, alright. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'll have to decide. I'll have to see if the katanas are... If they're exceedingly sharp, I'll probably injure myself, so I might not pose with a katana. But I'll look into it. I'll have to figure out, like, which group I fit into best. I've seen Morskar. She needs a weapon. I love that. Alright. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, Magog. I'll have to decide. Is there any, like, sect or group that, like, one of the traits, like, inherent to them is being covered in cat hair at all times? Probably not. Yep, YouTube TOS means whatever the hell they think it means at that time. It's true, there's no accountability, and they're not ashamed of it anymore. They could not have made it any more abundantly clear that they do not care about small creators. They do not care at all. They don't care. How completely, just incomprehensibly out of touch do you have to be to have Will Smith post your freaking year in review or whatever the hell their garbage is called. How can you be that out of touch? How can you make, like, that video was just the epitome of everything just gross and uninteresting and unappealing and corporate about YouTube. It was like the most hideous, clueless betrayal of just what they actually care about. They had no idea. Like, they have no idea how I'm sorry. I'm angry. Okay. Don't like sneak attack me, Ryder. How dare you? Okay, do a bunch of different picks. I'll pick the best ones. Yes, which is evil cat ladies. Okay. I do have, he's not my cat. I have this like gargantuan outdoor cat who's kind of my cat. I'm trying so hard to make him an indoor cat, but he is like, he has to be like 10, and he's like the ruler of like a 10-mile radius around our house. He is like this incredible hunter. He's like in charge here, and makes me sick to my stomach that he's an outside cat, because I want them all to be my babies inside, where I can watch them like a helicopter parent all the time and make sure they're healthy. But he is this massive black cat. He would be good as a witchy cat. He's my Halloween kitty. There's a group called the Skimpily Clad Maidens. Really? Are you sure? You really think that wouldn't be nightmare-inducing for me to participate in? Are you sure? Darn domestic short hairs. I know. It's not a betrayal of what they actually care about. It was an advertisement for what they really care about. I'm sorry. I meant like it betrayed it in the weird, like, old-timey way of, like, they didn't mean for it to like give away what they are doing, but it betrayed them and that it gave that away. That, I don't think I've heard like the word betrayed that way since I read like Girl of the Limberlost, and that book is like, I feel like that book is like a century old. I know it's not, but people don't say that anymore in that context. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll take a couple pictures. I'll try a couple different things and figure out like what feels like the most natural or is the most fun of a character for me to be. And I'll send you some, Magog. I don't know. Because the bottom line is it's going to incorporate cat hair whether I do it intentionally or not. So, I have a kazoo. Is there anything where a kazoo would be relevant? I love my kazoo. Okay. That's not relevant. I'm gonna do some quizzes now, whether you guys like it or not, because it'd be false advertisement to... Wait, I didn't title the stream anything about quizzes. I was wrong. Climate change concern quiz. I feel like that nobody would appreciate my answers to that. Cybersecurity knowledge. The news IQ quiz. Where was the one? Yes. How well can you tell factual from opinion statements? Maybe we can take that one. I'll look into that. Religious typology quiz. I don't know if I care about that. A bard that plays a kazoo. That could be my calling. It's a distinct possibility that in a very strange parallel universe, I did such a thing. Science knowledge quiz. Uh-oh. Who developed the polio vaccine? Does water boil at different temperatures based on altitude? Which is the hottest of Earth's 3 layers? Take our science quiz and see how you compare with Americans overall. No! When I downloaded a blank 50 states map and tried to fill it in myself with just very vague hints from the audience, people got real mad, so there's no way in hell I'm doing a science knowledge quiz. Test your news knowledge. Web IQ quiz. Test your knowledge of technology and the web by taking our short 12-question quiz. That's spoopy. I don't know about that. Which parent does more in your home? That is a little too personal. I disclose a lot about my home life as a child, and my many challenges that I was given the opportunity to overcome, but that, no. Religious knowledge quiz. How much do you know about Christianity around the world? See, I like quizzes that feed my ego without actually forcing me to employ any measure of cognition. So I think I enjoy things that are like, which shade of turquoise are you? You know? But this could be interesting. We could try this perhaps. After the New Zealand shooting, I'm so sorry, you guys. It's 2 in the morning. I'm tired. I should not have streamed, but I just felt like I had to do something semi-productive. After the New Zealand shooting, I know 3 creators got their stuff taken down. So after those 3 got hit, I took my video down since the purge was approaching. Lol. It's just terrifying and surreal that we're to that point, genuinely. Like, obviously everybody can see it coming. Everything like that happens, no matter how hideously sick and evil something is, the New Zealand shooting being an excellent example of that. Progressives, they're just giddy, no matter how disastrous and awful something is. If it gives them the opportunity to take away more of our liberties and to convince us that we should be handing those liberties over that are the only thing that make us free and prosperous, they don't care how many people die. They don't care how horrible and evil and terrifying it is, and the fact that they're sowing division that is destroying relationships and destroying our society and preventing people from ever becoming friends and getting to know each other who would have been wonderful friends. Can you tell that makes me sad a lot? They're giddy, you know, at any opportunity. And the fact that, like, New Zealanders are handing over their guns now, the fact that people are, like, delighted to be able to rob themselves of the fundamental right that somebody exercised that stopped the shooter. The fact that the government's response to somebody hideously murdering a bunch of innocent people, like, in their house of worship, is to make sure that the good guy who stopped that guy can never have the opportunity to stop him again. That is freaking horrifying. Yeah, writer, I saw that they're making a Dora the Explorer movie. I thought I was hallucinating. I thought, this is like the 800 billionth person to play the Tomb Raider. I think I see a pink shirt and, like, yellow shorts and a backpack, but there's no way I am hallucinating. This is not real. And then I scrolled back down on Twitter and I watched it. I'm like, oh god, it's real, and I'm blocking you because I do not like advertisers on Twitter. Water does boil at different altitudes, does it? Creator, I made a video. YouTube, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yep. It's the Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Interesting. Very interesting. I watched Dora a little bit as a kid. Like, I was too old to watch Dora, but I was, like, an only child and desperately alone. Just because that's just how it was. And I was old enough that, like, every time she would tell you to do something, I'm like, bitch, I'm eating my French toast. Do it. Do the damn thing yourself. You're in the TV land. I'm out here. I can't help you. Do it yourself. Stop being condescending. I was too old to be watching it. It did nothing for me. Dora did nothing for me. You need a pistol. I do need a pistol, yes. It's always been illegal to carry or use a firearm for self-defense in New Zealand. Simply mentioning self-defense in your firearms license is a disqualification. I didn't realize that. So the guy who stopped the man who was slaughtering innocent Muslims was breaking the law. I hope he's in jail. I hope he's being prosecuted for this hideous transgression. I imagine the audacity it takes someone to break the law like that. That guy, what was he doing? He was just slaughtering Muslims in their house of worship. Why did you have to go out of your way and shoot him? You know you're not allowed to. Why? Why would you do something so silly? College Humor did Dora better. Did they? I've not seen it. Okay, I'm dying. Let's do a quiz, friends. Shall we? How well can you tell factual from opinion statements? Oh my god, my brain is melting. Look at all these words. Why am I doing this to myself this late at night? Can you tell the difference between factual and opinion news statements? I don't know. Can you? Got him! And A+, 10 out of 10. I win the quiz. Test your ability to classify 10 news statements as either factual or opinion, then see how you did in comparison with a nationally representative group of 5,035 randomly selected U.S. adults surveyed online between February 22nd and March 4th, 2018. The analysis of the findings from the study can be found in the full report, distinguishing between factual and opinion statements in the news. Take the news. Take the quiz and share your results with us on Twitter at Pew Journalism. I don't think you're the real Pew journalist, friends. Regardless of how knowledgeable you are about each topic, would you consider each statement to be a factual statement, whether you think it is accurate or not, or an opinion statement, whether you agree with it or not? Okay. No, he took one of the weapons from one of the shooters. Oh. Oh. Still, he used a firearm in self-defense, and if that's illegal, it was completely uncalled for him to do something that absurd. President Barack Obama was born in the United States. Okay, that's clearly a factual statement. I'm kind of a birther. I don't really believe that he was born here necessarily, but there's no opinion in that. That's a factual statement. Healthcare costs per person in the U.S. are the highest in the developed world. Yeah, but also we have decent healthcare as opposed to dying waiting for basic care. Stop. That's not what this is about, Michelle. Stop. That's a factual statement, is it not? See, now I'm scared because I'm not grasping the nuance of this quiz. That's factual. Yeah, healthcare costs per person in the U.S. are the highest in the developed world. Highest is vague, sort of. Perhaps. But that comes across as factual. Increasing the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour is essential for the health of the U.S. economy. Yeah, saying something is essential for the economy is an opinion statement. I mean, I think. 4 of 10. Abortion should be legal in most cases. If there's a should, it's clearly an opinion statement. Immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally are a very big problem for the country today. That's an opinion statement. Those nebulous things, like saying it's a very big problem, that's not statistical, you know? Therefore, it's an opinion statement. How about, okay, I'm reading the quiz title because I'm so out of it. Immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally have some rights under the Constitution. That's a factual statement. Government is almost always wasteful and inefficient. See, yeah, like that's obviously fact, but I feel like almost always, because that's so vague, that's an opinion thing. Methinks. Spending on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid make up for the largest portion of the U.S. federal budget. See, because it says largest, the largest portion, that's factual. Like, just because it's not a literal number does not mean that it's not factual. Like, that is something that is absolutely measurable. You can confirm that or disprove it. ISIS lost a significant portion of its territory in Iraq and Syria in Iraq and Syria in 2017. Yes, that is a factual statement. And the caliphate has officially been ended now, by the way. Hell yeah. Go America. Go free world. We hecked them up. Good job, boys. Democracy is the greatest form of government. That's clearly an opinion statement. It's true, but it's an opinion statement. Gee-goo-ba-doo. Oh shit, look at me! I did a little thingy! I'm so smart! See below how your results, blah, 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 blah. You answered 5 of 5 factual statements correctly, which 26% of people did. It's scary that somebody could be so wrong if they got 0%, but you know what? People, it's fine. Everybody's different. So, it looks like over a quarter of people understood the factual statements. About another fourth of them got 4 out of 5. Yeah, okay, cool. You answered 5 of 5 opinion statements correctly, which everybody did pretty well. I was really hoping I would be like an outlier. I was hoping it would be like, you're a super genius. Why are you not amazing and famous already? But that's not. I'm so sad. Yeah, okay. Your response and demographic breakdowns. Ooh, spicy. Demographics are spicy, evidently. Healthcare costs per person in the U.S. are the highest in the world. 76% correctly classified that. Republicans got it close. Democrats did better. Independents did a little better than Republicans. Percentage who have a certain percentage of trust in national news organizations who classified it correctly. Who have help. What is this saying? I'm so sleepy. What? Who have trust. People who have a lot of trust in national news organizations, a lot of them got this one right. People who have some trust in it got some right, and people who have no trust or less trust, less of them got it right. So I guess what this is indicating is that they're showing people's bias. Like if people see a statement and they see that it's presented factually, but they're convinced that it's wrong based on like what their side is telling them. Their own bias is overriding their ability to objectively see something as either a statement of fact or a statement of opinion, I guess. I answered correctly that President Barack Obama was born in the United States is factual. That's really depressing that Republicans are so stupid that they're like, that's wrong. So it's that's just like your opinion, man. Democrats understood that is a factual statement. How odd. So Republicans are just dumb. Percentage who have a lot of trust in it, a lot of trust in like the mainstream leftist media essentially got it right, where people who have little or no trust in national news organizations didn't get this one right as much. Immigrants in the U.S. who are here illegally have some rights. Only 54% understood that was a factual statement. Republicans, less than half got it right. Democrats, over half got it right. So people who have little trust in like the leftist media got this one wrong, or people who trust the like national news organizations got it right. This is interesting to me. It would be more interesting if I was awake enough to understand the implications as opposed to just being like, oh, that's interesting, because I should say that because I'm smart. I want to sound smart. But it is interesting. You should either do cocaine or go to sleep. I know, man. It's pretty bad when I'm that tired after having caffeine, because I get pretty messed up by caffeine usually. I would say go to sleep and get some beauty sleep, but I don't think you can improve on perfection as a maid to Morskar. Well, I should become a maid to Morskar. That's a good idea. Magog is so sweet. He's always got good advice, and he's always, like, willing to give people advice. Yeah, Nuvi said, I think a lot of the Republicans answered if they agreed with a statement or not. Exactly, they couldn't see past their own opinion. Yeah, I agree with that. Immigrants are a great big threat. I agree, that's a fact. Exactly, that's what's going on here. People just... It's really embarrassing. ISIS lost a significant portion of its territory in Iraq and Syria in 2017. So almost 70% understood this as factual. So... Oh, because see, that would be something that Republicans would like this statement better than Democrats, because it reflects positively on President Trump. So Republicans, we're still morons, so only 72% of us understood this. Less Democrats, obviously, than Republicans were able to identify this as factual, and independents even more than Republicans. So people who have a lot of trust got it right. People who have some trust in the news, still 67% of them got it right. People who have no trust, even less than them, got it right. Wait, so now to me, I'm so itchy, I'm gonna die. It's more indicative of the fact that people who just choose not to trust the media are incapable of distinguishing things like this at all. Spending on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid make up the largest portion of the U.S. federal budget. Not quite 60% understood that this is factual, not opinion. Republicans, a lot more Republicans actually, understood that this was factual than Democrats. Democrats, hardly more than half of them understood that this is factual, which is weird to me. This was a pretty straightforward quiz in my opinion. So people who have a lot of trust in national news organizations, more of them understood that this was factual, where people who have some or not much or no trust in national news organizations, less of them understood this was factual. Democracy is the greatest form of government. This is an opinion statement. The sex number understood this. So Republicans and Democrats were close in the amount of either party who understood this as an opinion statement. And independents, many more of them, classified it correctly as an opinion statement. How interesting. And this is almost identical. The number of people in each amount of trust in national news who got it correct. Well, it seems like a trap because it's asking politically charged questions from different sides, so people get them wrong. So you reach the conclusion that the media can be trusted. Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know. Increasing the federal minimum wage is essential. So most people understood. I think it's because essential is such a it's a big word. It's a serious, not an exaggeration, but it's a very, very forceful, emphatic. It's a very emphatic word. You know, if something's essential, it's incredibly important. So that's the severity or the forcefulness of that statement is great. So people are able to understand that it's an opinion statement. So Republicans and Democrats both did pretty well in understanding that was, or no. Republicans and independents, I apologize, were better at telling us was an opinion statement, where less Democrats were able to distinguish that. So maybe Republicans aren't dumb. Maybe we're all a bunch of idiots. Just super biased idiots. So the people who have a lot of or some trust in national news organizations, less of them got this right than people who have no trust in national news organizations. How interesting. Abortion should be illegal, or it should be legal, I apologize, in most cases. This is the highest one yet, correct? As far as the number of people who are able to see that. For me, I think that the people would understand this mostly because abortion is such a hot button issue and everyone has such strong opinions on it right now. So Democrats and the Republicans and independents, an equal amount, a high amount of them were able to tell this is an opinion statement. Meanwhile, Democrats, less of them, but still 3/4 of them were able to tell this is an opinion statement. So because that's something that to them, obviously abortion should be legal in most cases, some Democrats don't comprehend that the word should or should be is clearly a statement of opinion. So people who have a lot of trust in the media didn't understand this was an opinion statement as much as people who have some or very little. There's a conclusion to come to from that, but I'm too freaking sleepy to come to it. Immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally are a very big problem for the country today. Yes, that's an opinion statement. Again, 68% got that right. That's very interesting. So less than half of Republicans comprehended that a very big problem is clearly a nebulous, like statistically unprovable thing. That's embarrassing. Many Democrats understood this was an opinion, probably due to the, well, that's just like your opinion man effect, which is scientific. Independents were somewhat in the middle. So people who have very little trust in national news, which is most likely conservatives, far less of them were able to correctly categorize this as an opinion statement than people who have more trust in the national news. And finally, government is almost always wasteful and inefficient. So less Republicans were able to see that this was an opinion statement than Democrats and independents. And for Democrats and independents, it was close to 3/4 of them were capable of that. It looks like percentage who have a lot of trust in the media were able to tell this was an opinion statement. And people who had some trust, less of them were able to tell. People who have less trust were able to tell. So this is quite dismaying because basically it tells us that people, I guess I underestimate just how dumb people are, and I know that makes me sound like I think highly of myself. I know it makes me sound like egotistical or like I look down on everyone else, but legitimately, I think I underestimate just how stupid, how freaking butt stupid, as Pat Gray would say, people are. People are just, ooh, mind-numbingly stupid. It's just deeply distressing to me that people are just so completely caught up and committed to and invested in and intertwined mentally with their own biases that they're incapable of seeing that words like a very big problem or that something should be are clearly opinion statements. That is, interestingly, this is really disheartening to me. Which shouldn't be. Everything is disheartening to me. Why is it a surprise to me that this is so disheartening? I guess I don't think people are as stupid as they are. And it seems like Republicans are a little bit worse than Democrats at correctly figuring this stuff out. And they're a little bit worse at separating what they believe to be fact from clearly fact or opinion statements. But either party is, like, the similar amounts in either party struggle to comprehend that just because you believe something is true, if it's not stated in a like factual, like statistically provable or disprovable way, it's not a fact statement, it's an opinion statement. Yeah, it seems like similar amounts of both parties feel those ways. Anyway, I'm smart. I'm in the top like 0.01% of smarts. That's what this means. I'm good at math. I assure you, trust me. That's what that means. Continuing what Jamesy said a bit earlier, if they wanted to do it straight up, they would have asked inane questions, and then at the end asked if you were right or left or independent. Yeah, the media is leftist, so are Dems. Well, yes, that's true, and it's funny. Like, a lot of leftists, they don't believe that they have control of the media and Hollywood and the colleges and the education system. They don't believe it. Like, if you mention to them that the majority of all of those institutions and, like, the propaganda machines being Hollywood, music industry, news, etc., are leftist, they're like, no, they're not. Like, that's a pretty good indicator that they're incapable of distinguishing their own opinions from you know, hard facts. But yeah, I mean, that's very true. Would have given you more accurate information at that point. Yeah. Did it ask you what political affiliation you were before you started the quiz? It did not know. I'm sure they've got data on me. Like, I'm sure I've got, like, cookies from this site that go the other freaking way. Brain not working. Like, I'm sure they know based on the other quizzes I've taken here from, like, my IP address or whatever it is. They know. They've got data on me. Everybody does. But, let me go back. I'm hitting the back button. You fools! It won't let me. Oh, for freaking whatever. It won't let me go back. But yeah, it said that this is based on 5,035 participants that they used previously to make these determinations. So they gather all the information beforehand. Like, that was something that confused me in some of the quizzes I took previously on this site. They're not, like, tallying up information, like, and including you in those statistics. They do a small study that's not really even big enough to be super accurate, but they, like, survey a couple people, and then they show you how you stack up to those people, like, from the results they already tallied a while ago. But I'm sure they know. They put me, in one of the political tests I took earlier. They said that I was, like, very conservative, and I'm sure they know that, and, I'm very, like, cynical and distrustful. I'm like that kid who, like, when I was still so young that I was totally freaking obsessed with Pokemon, like the anime Pokemon, I would not say things with a phone around that I did not want the government knowing, because from that age, like, I was a Glenn Beck scale doomsdayer. Like, I believed that things were bad, like, before you could even say that stuff out loud without people ridiculing you. But turns out a lot of those things were true. My phone knows more about me than anyone wants to know. I love the meme that, like, you've got your own FBI agent assigned to you and they're always, like, looking at the text you're sending, like, what's wrong with this person? That's nasty. You know, I love that meme. But, you know, I mean, I'm sure that they're tracking all this stuff. And I'm sure that while they're saying all of this stuff, and I'm sure while they have, like, a closed set, like, data set that they gathered from their surveys beforehand, I'm sure they're also gathering data now based on people's results and based on, you know, any one individual's results. I'm sure they're, like, cross-tallying those things from, like, if you take political quizzes, they're seeing, like, how well conservatives do on this quiz, and, like, how well Christians versus Muslims on the, like, religious typography quiz, how well they do on things like that. Like, you know, they're gathering data like that, obviously, even though they're not publicizing it. That was very loud. Invaders are a huge problem. Build the wall. Yeah, I agree entirely. It would help everybody, including, you know, Latino people. It would help everybody. It's not racist to build a wall. If you think that illegal immigration or breaking the law can be equated to one race, guess what, Democrats in Congress? You're the racists. Sorry. Breaking the law has no race. Not all Mexicans or not all Hispanics or not all Latino people or whatever you want to call them. They don't all break the law. And if you think all brown people are lawbreakers, that's vile, okay? Just a little heads up there to people. Build the wall. That helps everybody. Helps racial minorities, ethnic minorities, helps white people, helps straight people, gay people, pansexual people, asexual, aromantic, they, them pronoun. It helps everybody. Build the wall. Helps everybody. And if you're so pathetic and incapable of you know, putting together a sensible argument that you have to say, it's racist to build a border wall, you're betraying just how little you think of brown people, that you think all brown people are lawbreakers and that all lawbreakers are brown people. Freaking vile. I'm sorry. I've gotten off on that exact tangent in, like, my last 4 streams. I've got a problem. People start talking about immigration and I get sassy. Just wondering, because if it didn't know, how do they know who is what? Yeah, it's just because they did a thing before, and I'm sure those people, all they did was say I'm a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, so that could probably skew the results. But yeah, this is all based on like a little survey they did in 2018. Just because it sounds like an opinion doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong, nor that it's right. It may sound like an opinion and be one or the other. Exactly. Now, I don't think too much on their numbers. The fact that they used inflammatory questions and politics for their questionnaire means the whole thing is suspect for me, and then tied the media to it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a very small, like, number of people they surveyed too. That doesn't help either. CC cleaner and ATF every day, sometimes multiple times. Yeah, I know, but I like cookies. I like stuff like that. It makes my life easier. I like people knowing stuff about me. I'm one of those people who used to do the surveys and hope I would be able to make like $300 or $400 a month and stay home from just making surveys. I was one of those deluded people. You know how you do like 800 surveys about like what kind of like snow pea you like best, and then they're like, here's a coupon for 0.3 pennies off of a pair of shoes from a store you don't go to. We told you you'd make money from our surveys. Like, I give my information away on a platter. Not always, but I know I need to be better about it. Good boo. Stop scrolling. Okay, good point about the cookies and the rest. Didn't even think about that. I'm just real. I don't trust anybody. Use the Brave browser too. Okay. What do I use now? I use Chrome. I use the worst one possible if I want any privacy. FBI stalker watches Chat-Mort. Chat. I'm sorry I say chat all the time. It's French. Chat-Mort. Can't speak French when I'm sleepy. Can't even do it. Confirmed. I know. Not cool. Not cool, FBI. Not cool. Break your Wi-Fi to chains. This message was sent through a Wi-Fi. Um, I'm a brown people. I don't believe the wall is the answer. Landmines, though. Oh, Jesus. That's very metal. That would be something, all right. I've ran into people I knew were illegal, freaking hard workers nonetheless, Matt. Well, that's very true. Like, my thing is, obviously, I if you're willing to break the first law you come into contact with in regard to America, that being illegal immigration, that does not set a good precedent as far as you respecting other laws. But obviously, some people are so desperate to get away from hellholes like Mexico, for example. Wait, am I allowed to say that or am I not allowed to say that? That's probably a horrible PR nightmare. Good thing that nobody pays attention to me, am I right? Like, obviously, some people are desperate enough to risk being deported and being in trouble breaking that law to get somewhere, and then when they get here they are terrified and they do everything to stay under the radar and keep their heads down and not get in trouble because they want to make life better. You know, I know that, and the thing is, like, I'm not the kind of person, and this never even came up as an issue to me or something that I even thought about till recently, but if I knew somebody was here illegally, I would not, like, report them to ICE or whoever. I wouldn't do it. But I also don't think there's any shame in thinking that you need the most basic immigration laws and restrictions to keep your country together. You know, it's like when you see, like, a single-celled organism, like, if something takes in too much of its surroundings at any one time, it bursts. That's how America is. If we have such a massive influx of immigrants at any one time, particularly ones who do not respect the laws and who aren't thoroughly vetted over a very long period of time, our culture and our economy is going to change so drastically that their country is going to decay, and it's doing so right now. When you have a ton of people suddenly suddenly you have all these other unknown, unexpected economic factors. All these people who are taking up a huge number of resources, a huge number of jobs because they need them, a huge amount of housing. How are you supposed to account for these people when they're not even legally technically here? You know, officially they're not here. It's very, very basic. It's very, very basic, and it's common sense that you have to have immigration laws. You have to stem the flow of people coming in, and you have to rigorously vet the people coming in if you want your country to survive. Is that evil and mean and scary to people that we're like this exclusive club? Sure, maybe, but guess what? If we do not keep our country together and we do not keep our country safe, how the hell are we supposed to help immigrants? How the hell are we supposed to help the people in places that are so bad that they're desperate to get out of them and are risking their lives to get out of them? We can't help anybody. We can't, with our own economic prosperity, we can't uplift other people and other nations and other groups out of poverty if we are incapable of keeping ourselves out of it. That's a fact, you know? That's just how it is, and that's upsetting to people. People don't like thinking that far ahead about it. They're just like, look at this person, he wants to be here to work, why don't you let him in? But that's not how it works. But no, if I knew somebody was here illegally, I don't think I would report them, you know? But then you see things like people who are here illegally. There's an epidemic of people who are here illegally, who, if our government enforced its own laws, wouldn't be here, who do heinous, evil things to people. And a lot of people do take advantage of our lax border laws and our inability to control who comes over the border. Like, Houston is the abduction capital of the world. Thousands of people I don't even like thinking about it, but thousands of people are kidnapped and put into the slave trade. You know, people are kidnapped and taken across the border and put into prostitution because they know they can get away with it. Yeah, there are a ton of people who are just desperate for a better life for themselves and their kids who are coming here illegally, but guess what? A huge, huge number of people are part of the cartel. They're trying to, you know, further their human trafficking efforts, and they're doing a damn good job of it too because they can get away with it. And it's horrifying, and it needs to stop, and it can and should be stopped, you know? It's just an atrocity that so many people are killed or raped or all manner of just hideously nightmarish things. And when it's perfectly preventable if we actually just enforced our laws. If you're dumb enough to think there's something racist about enforcing laws, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the place to go. First grade might be a place to go. It might be a good starting point for you, but this is not the place. They know more about us than our parents, and they still suck at guiding us toward the right path. CC Cleaner doesn't knock them all out if you use exceptions. Amazon cookies. No, Chrome, it has your soul. Yeah, I know it has my soul. Freaking, that's where it went. That's where my hopes and dreams went to. Google, if Google has everything, that would explain where all of my emotions and joy and hope went. Moving right along. I'm color confused. I mean, where I'm from, we are sort of the fairest, so I am color confused. I am brown, mid-brown, light brown, and none brown. Yeah, it's interesting. The difference, like socially, politically, as far as bias or the perception of people based on their color within a race or ethnicity is very interesting too. Most people don't really care except leftists. Yeah, it's true. Like, it makes me sick that people, like, race relations are intentionally being made worse and worse. Like, I do not want to look at a black person and see that person as a black person before anything else. Who gives a shit what color you are? That has no bearing on your character, on your morals, on your passions and your talents. No bearing whatsoever. We're all people. And it's just sick that we're to a point now where people are trying to push that again, and people are trying to tell people that your skin color defines you. Like, we were past that. In the 80s and early 90s, we had successfully gotten past that. And now we're like reverting, we're backsliding into that because that suits the progressive agenda. That's what the media wants us to do. Makes me angry. The only way to really stop illegal immigration would be a Hadrian's Wall type of deal. Even then, people would still risk it and the public would never go for it. Yeah. You're from Pakistan. We took care of more than 2 million Afghans during USSR invasion. And what do we get? Heroin weapons become main factor in politics. Yeah, it's hard and it's scary, you know. It's a weird kind of technicality, or it sounds like it, but when you import a bunch of people who have an even slightly different culture from yours, and that's not to say any culture is necessarily superior to any other one. I think diversity is a good thing. As long as you can assimilate, if you're still sharing your culture with the people who you've come into and are living amongst, that's wonderful. But yeah, that it destroys everything and it throws everything off kilter, and it allows weird political angles to be used for people's personal gain that weren't even part of the conversation before. Sorry, I'm dying. I mean, I'm not dying, I'm just sleepy. My voice is going away. Yeah, they needed a work pass so they didn't have to worry of where they can get their beer to be in bed by 20 to 2100 and end up by 0500 to go back to work. Newbie said, seriously, a more reasonable immigration policy would be much more effective than the wall. Landmines are illegal, well-reasoned and effective. Well, yeah, it needs to be a better deterrent, because the worst thing is when you end up with these people detained here and like the children in cages debacle. That's horrible. You want people to know not to come here in the first place, because when people come here, we're already wasting, you know, precious resources trying to figure out how to deal with them and eject them back there and only have them come back over the border again and again. Immigrants should be allowed but kept under check. Yeah, I agree with that. We need to repeal the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. I'll have to look that up. I don't know the specifics of it, Scrappy. You should let people in, but only those who would be useful to your country. I'm so sorry, I'm dying. Yeah, I agree with that. It sucks that immigration is so hard. Like, everybody wants to come to America. Not as much anymore because of the anti-American propaganda everywhere. Because America it's losing what made it great. You know, we are not as safe. We are not as free. Everything is starting to become about race and sexuality and gender and stuff like that again. So it's becoming less desirable. But still, people do want in here, and it's not fair. It's not fair at all. But if you're the government, if you're part of the government for any country, your job is not to fix the world. That should be secondary. Your job is to govern your country. Your first concern should be the well-being of the people in your country, you know? It's not fair, but that's how it works. And the bottom line is, you do have to let people in who can do something for your country, who are hard workers, who have some outstanding skill set. You have to consider that when you're figuring out who you let in. Because if you cannot keep your country stable, if your country is not being strengthened by immigrants, if your country is not economically and politically stable, you can't help anybody. What good is your country for people immigrating to it if you are not keeping yourself stable and you're not, you know, your country is not being protected and bettered and held together in some way by some common culture or sense of nationality or something like that, you know? Jamesy said, I have the perfect way to piss off the left, make the US into an ethno-state and change nothing about our country. Everybody's now called white. Yeah, if everybody's white, who can be the scary, evil, demonized boogeyman? It doesn't work. Yeah, the left would lose their minds because not the left, obviously, specifically the far left, the progressive left, divisiveness is the only thing they have. If we are not all divided and racist and sexist and homophobic or whatever, if we're not all scared of each other and warring against each other, we don't need the government to protect us from each other. So how does the government continue to take away our rights unless we're all scared and begging them for protection and, you know, to make things fair? Help raise the living standard in another country. Yeah, that too. And the more stable we are, the more capable we are of helping people in that way. It will never happen because it's a silly idea, but just imagine no racism, no suppressing people, no etc. Everyone is one thing. Can you imagine how nice that would be to truly be rid of, like, bigotry altogether? Yes, go back to a point system. Is there a job? Can they do it? That's +2. Yeah. But there's, you know, the left would be like, that's dehumanizing. That's horrible. You cannot reduce people to nothing based on their skill set or whether they were given a fair shake at life. Like, you can and you have to in this regard if you want your country to survive. Sorry. You could do the same thing with calling everyone American. I don't want to trigger the snowflakes about nationalism, lol. Yeah, it's like nationalism is not necessarily a good thing, but obviously I'm biased, you know, because I think America is the greatest country in the world. Economically, as far as its principles, as far as it inspiring other countries and people from other countries to not just settle for oppression and corruption and to demand better and to actively seek out better for themselves. But I think nationalism is useful in some ways, you know, to an extent. You are always going to be part of your country. Most people are always going to be part of your country. So it's one of those things, like, I don't really understand sports teams either. Like, people are just loyal to and are obsessed with the sports team that happens to be from the same location. Like, in a way, nationalism seems pointless, but in another way, you almost have to be really invested in how well your country does, because most people are going to live in their country their whole life, you know? So it is beneficial to care about it, and the more invested people are in their country being better, the more nationalistic, I guess you could construe that as people being, the more people are going to be actively searching for ways to better that country for themselves and everyone else. I don't know. Does that have anything to do with anything? Probably not. Look at Japan, because the population on the verge of no return is now opening up to foreign labor, and now it's a point-based system for a skill set if you want to immigrate to Japan and work there. Yeah. It's really sad that Japan their population is, like, flatlining and dropping off, because Japan is the best. We need as many manga authors and stuff as possible. But yeah, if you're going to do it, you have to do a point-based system. And nobody is calling Japan racist. Nobody is saying that Japan is being dehumanizing or they're being too hard on people of like other ethnicities or something like that, because they're not. Um, it's a perfectly rational, fair, and smart way to handle it, I think. It is less expensive to help people out in their own country if my country has excess money. The U.S. does not. Yeah, that's part of the problem. You know, we're an incredibly prosperous country, but we're trillions of dollars in debt. I think just under the Obama administration, our debt, I think he racked up almost as much debt as like every president before had or something. And inflation makes that seem worse, but it's absolutely horrifying. Like, you don't want to be in debt. You know, if we can all agree universally that like no individual should be in debt, and the more debt you have, the more unstable of a situation you are in personally, everybody should be able to also agree that our country being in debt to all of our like enemies worldwide is like maybe probably a bad idea. Like, that shouldn't be something that we can't all agree on. It's scary. And yeah, like we have to get all of our affairs in line. We have to start fixing everything that's wrong in our country. All of the ridiculous sort of like semi-socialist policies going on, like Social Security, that are just broken, you know. We have to figure out economically how to fix those things, and how to I don't know, just right ourselves and get ourselves out of so much debt, which we never will, because our enemies need that leverage over us. It's incredibly useful to them. But yeah, we have to fix ourselves, because we're falling apart. Our country is falling apart economically, and yeah, we're still trying to give resources that we can't afford to give to other people. Like, it's, yeah, obviously you want to help other people in other countries. Of course you do. Everyone does. But there are so many people desperately suffering here due to our current economic problems, that we need to fix stuff here before we can logically help anybody else in a sustainable way. There are only two other countries that compete with the U.S., are world players. Now, do you mean like Western, like European countries, or do you mean like the big superpowers? America was once great. It has now become what it once fought. Now people in other countries are throwing the America tea in the sea. In a way, that's true, and it's really sad. Really sad. I tell people all the time I'm a nationalist, and it's always funny to see them pause to think about it, lol. Which is half the reason I do it. Yeah, people are like, wait, why am I angry about that? If the U.S. went isolationist, the world markets would go into a massive depression. Yeah, that's because of countries linked to the dollar. Yeah. China doing it, Russia doing it would only be a world recession. They can't support their own economy in the way the U.S. can. Yeah, but, I mean, China and Russia are both massive threats to the U.S. economically, just geopolitically. They're both doing an excellent job of accumulating labor forces and capital, you know, which isn't a bad thing either. Like, I said something one time about how Russia was doing something that was a threat that clearly was not okay. I was talking about as an American citizen from an American standpoint. Like, me pointing out that something is a threat to America does not necessarily mean I'm condemning, like, I don't know, Russia or China or any other country. Every country should be acting in its best interests, but I'm in America. I think my country should be acting in its best interests. Most of my loved ones are here, so obviously I'm invested in this country and its best interests, and I'm not going to apologize for, you know, being invested in and wanting America to do its best for us. That doesn't mean that I don't think every other country should be doing the same thing, because every country's they've got to watch their back, and you've got to look out for yourself. Why is my ear ringing so much? Help. Very strange. Very uncomfortable. Nationalism is purely wanting your country to do better than any other and make it have its interests first and foremost. So it's foreign policy, self-interested but not racist. Yeah, it's not racist. Like, what country is perfectly ethnically homogenous? Like, maybe some teeny tiny, like, I want to say Mediterranean, but that's not right. Maybe some like teeny tiny country that was colonized by the French, you know, some little African country. Maybe there's one country that's like smaller than my backyard that is ethnically homogenous, but most of them aren't. Nationalism is nationalism. It's not racist. The EU can't compete with Israel even. If Israel cut them off, they would go into recession. Israel should cut them off. That's not true. The EU is dangerous. It's a bad thing, but, you know. EU has gone so far left, I doubt Putin wants it anymore. I often make the joke that if Putin took over the EU in a war, he would give it up as they are too far left for him. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting. Russia has energy out the wazoo. That's my freaking favorite word in the world. China has production potential out the wazoo. If we don't keep Iran down, we'll regret Persia rising. Putin will stop in Germany and make a DMZ for peace. Romans have a thing where once every 10 years maybe they forgive debt, something like that. This kept the system running. Now look at student debt bubble alone. It crashes and that's a heart attack. Yeah, I know. It's scary. One of the things, though, is that people just need to stop getting in debt, you know, or in America especially, it's a culture where everybody's in debt. Everybody is just so casual and cavalier about the fact that we have debt. Like, I know a lot of people who have like $100,000 in debt. That's horrifying, you know? Like, most kids my age, like under 30 years old, make what, $25,000 a year? So you're like 4 years in debt, if not more. That's horrifying, you know? Absolutely horrifying. I have under $10,000 in debt, and part of that is because I went to college that was affordable for me. Part of it was because I paid out of pocket for a big chunk of every semester of my college. I don't have any other debt. I don't have credit card debt. We have not bought a house. I bought my little crappy car I have with cash, you know, like you. I'm not saying that everybody should have no debt. I'm not trying to be judgmental toward people who have debt, because obviously it happens, you know, sometimes things happen that you can't predict. And obviously if you're going to buy a nice car, you're going to buy a nice house, you're going to go in debt. But it is possible to be in very small amounts of debt. It is possible to avoid being in this hole where there's just no way to pay your way out. I don't know. You know, if America tried to forgive debt, like there's so many people and so much debt here, for us that would be disastrous. Study what Israel supplies Europe. 60% of all fresh veggies come from Israel. That's just one part. Really, Scrappy? I had no idea about that. I have a good friend. Well, I have a friend who lives in Israel. It gets crazier, though. If you stacked up all the money on the planet, you get 14.8 trillion. If you look at the electronic traded currency markets, they do 36.4 trillion in trades a day. That's fascinating. That's really interesting, Jamesy. Or Anubis. Other people are calling you Anubis. I'm calling you Jamesy. That's like, my name is Chat-Mort, if you want to say it the, like, American English way. Some people call me Chat. Other people call me Mort. Other people call me Michelle, because my name is Michelle. I like it when people call me Chat when I'm, like, in a chat talking to a stream. Because then everybody's like, yeah, I'm Chat. I'm like, I'm Chat. And they're like, we're all Chat. I'm like, you're not Chat. I'm Chat. Point is that all money is based on U.S. currency defined as price. That's true. Not necessarily forever, the idiotic way we're behaving, but that is absolutely true for the time being. What do you guys want to do? I am sleepy AF, I believe the kids are saying these days. That's not funny. It was not funny the first time I said it. It wasn't funny the 30th time I said it. Okay, it's good that I can call you whatever I want. How often, like, I'm sure you guys are used to it if you, like, lurk in streams a lot, but people are so bad at pronouncing names, and it's mostly just me, but, I don't know. It's hard. it's hard when you're streaming because like you're trying so hard to like say something in the most interesting way possible. You're fighting to maintain your train of thought. You're fighting to stay on topic. If you've got co-hosts, it's even harder because you're trying to listen to what they're saying and figure out, well, crap, if they just said what I was going to say, I have to find something else complimentary. Then you're also looking at the chat. Then you might be like reading an article, and like when you're in the chat, even I get frustrated. I'm like, how do you not understand what we're saying in the chat? We're responding to what you just said, but there's so much going on that it's very much par for the course for me to be like, your name is Salad. I just like I will like mispronounce people's names, or I'll like assume they're a totally different word that just happens to start with the same letter and end with the same letter. Like I do that a lot. So thank you for your patience. There is this guy, Michael Riviero. Look him up. He has a good grip on economy, does a radio show. Thank you, Abrar. I appreciate that. That's interesting. Michael Riviero. I will look him up. Do you watch Black Pigeon Speaks? No. Are you asking me? I've heard of Black Pigeon Speaks. Wait, on a stream where we're supposed to be interesting? Yeah. It's hard. I'm not interesting. I fail miserably at that. But I try. And I'm blonde, and with the right amount of illusion of different pigments, I look like I have big, pretty eyes. So I get away with being incredibly dull, and bumbling, and terrifyingly idiotic at times. It works. It works for me. What are you saying? Hola, bom dia a todos. What does that mean? Something about the day to all of us? What are you saying? I can't pronounce your name correctly. It looks like Vinicius. Vinicius? That's a pretty name. Is it super weird if I like copy and paste that in Google Translate? Will everything go off the rails if I do that? Probably. I'm just gonna... What? Just tell me what it says, man. Google Translate is not doing very well for me today. You're just saying hello? Hello to everyone? Hello! I googled it to figure out what you were saying. I don't know many languages other than my own. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're from Brazil. I see. Brazilians are so wonderful and sweet. I was talking earlier about my favorite singer, Curly, and most of Curly's fans are Brazilians. Like, Brazilians are some of the most loyal, enthusiastic, like, wonderful, supportive people in the world. And the Shadowworks is doing really well in Brazil right now. You do lovely on your stream, you're a goober. Man, I'm trying. You need to watch Black Pigeon Speaks. He's a very clear and pointed on one subject at a time. What's going on? You're telling him that he speaks French and he's like, no, I speak Portuguese. And you're like, no, he speaks French. Yes, translate this page. Yeah, he's telling you, you fools. He's saying he does not speak French. He speaks Portuguese. Have you ever heard music from Pakistan? You're asking me? I don't think I have. I'm very, very limited in the music I listen to. It's just, like, I almost never get new music, and I don't look for new artists I like. I just like, I like Curly. I like Seether. I like Imogen Heap. I like old Florence and the Machine music. I like old Seether music. I like Julian Kay. I like Hollywood Undead. I like Billy Talent. I like Within Temptation. I like Nightwish. I just have like a very small number of musicians that I listen to. I like Purity Ring. They're really cool. But I stick with these couple bands that made music like 10 years ago, and I don't branch out much. Jamesy, shame on you. Yes, lots of gunfire. For heaven's sake, make DuckDuckGo your default search engine. Scrappy, that might actually be my... Let me see. No, since I upgraded my machine, I did not make DuckDuckGo my search engine again. I need to because I liked it before. But I don't know. Stop! Don't open Google. I've forgotten I opened Google. Was there anything incriminating on there? I'm gonna open Google in my other tab. Let's see. Anything interesting? Akinator. Old, like 2012 fan fiction in my bookmarks. You can see I've got ad blocker up. YouTube, Twitch, Spider Solitaire. Fan fiction. Amazon, Plex, Chris Watts. Okay, good. Nothing horrifically incriminating. This is probably a sign that I need to go to bed really soon. I'm sorry, you guys. Old, like 2012 Motor City fan fiction. That's crazy. I forgot that was on there. I imported my my Google stuff from my laptop recently, so it's like a bunch of ancient things, like archaic things. I was working on an automatic door, and the owner had a CD playing. Don't know. He is from Pakistan. Owned the hotel behind the gas station. Whenever you have time, type that. Okay, I will look that up later. Try the Brave browser out. I think you'll like it. Blocks most ad on YouTube and everywhere. I'll look into that. And Abrar, I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying your name right either, but I will look that up as well. It's incriminating that you had to check for something incriminating. Well, dude, I was freaking out. I was like, freaking, I don't know what I've got on there. I've got my AO3. You can see my name on AO3. That's not good. Akinator. Old. You guys don't even know what Motor City is, I'm sure. But there's a prompt list on dreamwidth.org for Motor City fanfiction, and I was gonna write some of that. And then in ancient, yeah, I bookmarked another, I think it's a Motor City fanfiction. How weird. Oh, that's some old stuff, dude. Yeah, a little incriminating, I had to check, but I didn't even know. Oh my god, it's scary. Also, hi White Squall. But yeah, I will look for those, Abrar. I will look for... I think I've heard of the Nest Cafe. It's, like, they do really cool remixes of things, do they not? But I don't know if I've listened to any of it, but somebody was telling me about it. I don't know what else to do. I'm sleepy. I'm still shaken up about accidentally opening my Google thing in the wrong window. That was scary. I almost died. Don't tell me I don't know what Motor City is, young whippersnapper. Yeah, Motor City is kind of like a vintage fandom at this point. Motor City, oh my god, it was the coolest freaking show. It was made for MTV. Nobody cares, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. It was made for MTV. It came out on Disney XD because nobody else would pick it up. Freaking MTV is garbage, and they didn't want it. It was this incredible show about like a dystopian future where this guy basically took over the entirety of Detroit as this like corporation, and everybody who lived in Detroit now was like left below this massive like utopia built on top of Detroit. And because they had Detroit, like the identity of it and the culture of it taken away, they just called themselves Motor City. And it was about this group of kids who were trying to take down the guy who was like the like evil guy who had taken over and he built Detroit Deluxe, and he was trying to like wipe out all of the like the Motor City like motor citizens who didn't want to assimilate and become part of his like creepy corporate utopian. It's really cool. It's a cartoon that was made for MTV. Old Motor City fan fiction I've got bookmarked. I love Motor City. It was so good. I don't like when things end, especially when they're canceled. Like Stormhawks was my favorite cartoon. It messed me up that it was canceled, even though I knew it was going to be. Even like Zim, there was no real ending to Zim. Nickelodeon just screwed him over. I'm still like waiting with bated breath for the completed Invader Zim movie to come out on Nickelodeon. But like Motor City, it was just one of those things you knew it was not going to last when it started, even though the characters were wonderful, the music was wonderful, the storyline was beautiful. The character, the Duke of Detroit, voiced by Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. The Duke of Detroit is one of the coolest characters of all time. He's so cool. But like, I bawled my eyes out when I got into Motor City, because I was like, this show's gonna get canceled no matter what I do, no matter how many people I beg to watch it, no matter how much I try and get people to watch it online, no matter how much any of us do, it's not a good fit for Disney XD. It's gonna get canceled. I love these characters and I'm never gonna know what happens to them. What a tangent. What are your thoughts about EU banning memes? It's unbelievably stupid, and it just shows you how like how dangerous free speech is, because memes are such a powerful, like, simplified, quick way to send a message. It's not like an article that's 6,000 words long. It's not an article that's 600 words long. It's not even a tweet. A meme is just a picture in like 3 words, and it gets the message across, and it's such like fire. A meme can be spread all over the internet and everyone can see it, and this like very witty, kind of insincere, sarcastic way of criticizing things is everywhere. So obviously memes are dangerous. They're like the epitome of free speech, as stupid as that sounds. So I see why memes are a threat to the EU. I see why they did it, because memes are the easiest, quickest way for criticism of them to get around. But memes are also this, memes cannot be contained, like, even just to the internet. Like, memes are constantly evolving and changing, you know? Like, how do you even define memes? Like, they used to be like the troll face, and now they have a completely different meaning and definition. So how do you ban something that can't even be defined, that's constantly evolving? It's like bizarre, you know? Like, what even are memes? Memes are like this terrifying, like, transcendental, incredible power that like unites all of mankind. So you do know Motor City. Motor City is the shit. I loved Motor City. I think Titmouse is trying to do something with Motor City, but they'll never be able to afford to continue animating it. If they could just do like 6 more episodes and conclude the show, which would seem really fake and forced, the same way the Danny Phantom ending seemed fake and forced. If they could at least do something to try and wrap the series up, that would be great. But now I want to know what it was that you were worried about revealing. You already reveal stuff that you should be ashamed of. Thanks, White Squall. That's a good point, though. I don't know. I was just spooked. I didn't know what we would find there. Yeah, there's really nothing incriminating at all. Most embarrassing thing is like the title of an old... Yep. It's an old Motor City fanfiction, and it's like super G-rated, so I'm relieved. That could have gone much worse. Man, I don't even know. I just get so scared that like my background on like the Google search page is like my social security number or some absurd thing. I don't know. Jamesy, your response to White Squall, and no comment. Yeah, the Duke of Detroit. Oh, what an amazing character. I love that man. I freaking love the Duke of Detroit. What a cool, bizarre character. He was amazing. My hair, if I ever cut my hair short, I would look like the Duke, because the underside always stays darker from not being in the sun. EU and far lefties practice authoritarianism. Basically, they can't trust people to think. Of course they can't, because anybody who uses their brain knows better than what the EU tells them. It's all about trust. I did a spoof video on that on my channel, and I used John Oliver to explain it. Did you really? I'm gonna actually have to look at your channel, Jamesy. I don't believe I've ever looked at it before. I'm probably subscribed and I'm gonna have like totally forgotten and hurted your feelings. But I will look your channel up later. It's so hard. It is so hard to look up people's channels, and I don't know why. Like, when a new person like shows up in my chat just randomly and they hang out and they're super cool, I always want to go subscribe to them, like just for at the very least I'll be able to see what they're up to and see if they're okay and maybe say hi to them in their comment section later. It is almost impossible to like look up a channel, even if you change the search filter in YouTube to channel, is almost impossible to actually find a channel. It's really frustrating. You're not easy to forget, Jamesy. There's no way for me to say that with complete certainty because like we're just talking now, but I like to keep track of you guys. Like even if I just talk to somebody once, it's so cool to be able to just talk to people from all over the world and talk about what we have in common. Like, you know, it's awesome, and I want to be able to keep track of you guys. Is my armpit hair sticking out? Have I shaved recently? I don't believe so. Why do I not have 1 million subscribers? Beats me. Can't figure it out. Well, I'm probably gonna go pretty soon, you guys, because I'm sleepy as heck. Well, it's 3 in the morning. Why didn't you guys tell me it was so late? It's like far past my bedtime. But I know you guys are talking. Abrar is recommending some really cool music. And I will look up the Nescafe version of Sweet Child of Mine, Abrar. Thank you for recommending that. But I will give you some time. I kept putting a "guh" sound in there because I was going to say guys. I will give you good guys some time to wrap up what you guys are saying. And then we will go away. I unlisted most of my vids and I've gotten 2 subs in the past couple months to now. Aw. Oh, so it's about noon on Sunday there. Okay, yeah, it's 3 in the morning on Sunday here. It's just very early Sunday morning. Oh, I should have gone to bed a long time ago, but I felt like streaming. And this is what I get. I'm up real late at night. I want to take another quiz like real fast, but I know that's a terrible idea and I'll be up till like 5. And then tech support husband is going to be like, why are you doing this to yourself? I tell you all the time to come to bed and you don't. I'm going to be like, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry, or I wouldn't keep doing it. You know how it is. This is a problem because there are no like really silly, absurd, like quick quizzes to take. I don't know. We can take some more of these Pew Research things at another time. I'll stream again. I'll probably stream in a couple days after I get home from work one day. Because my heart is just not in these scripted videos right now. It's just not. And I still want to do videos a lot. I like hanging out with you guys. But for now, I'm just, the whole stream format is just resonating with me a lot more. And I feel like I can be a lot more productive and entertaining in streams, because that's just what I feel like doing right now. So sleepy. Yeah, it's cool to be able to talk to people easily, but I forget to talk to people a lot, though. Even my friends I've known for 10 years, I haven't spoken to in like 6 months. Yeah, White Skull, I'm really bad about that, too. I'm so forgetful. Like, people will message me about something important, and I might respond to them, or, like, I'm, like, really disoriented most of the time. I have a terrible, like, grasp of time and the passage of time. I'll look at something that somebody messaged me like the day before. Like, if I looked at my phone and somebody messaged me like, hey, I really like your channel, can I ask you some advice yesterday? I'll look at the date and I'll have no idea. I'll think that was like a week ago, because I never know what day it is. And I'll just be like, well, crap, now it's too late to respond to them, or now I have to think of an apology, what do I say? And then I panic about it for days, and then I'll go back and look at it again. and I'll realize they asked you that within 12 hours of you first seeing it. But because you couldn't figure out what day it was, you made this big deal about it, or things like that, or like all somebody will message me on Instagram or Twitter or something, and I'll respond, and then they'll respond, and I won't think to look at my DMs or whatever, or my PMs or whatever it is on that site for like a week. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't get out of that. I'm really, really bad about that. So you're not alone, dude. Blame me and say I was so charming you couldn't leave, lol. Yeah, I will. You'll get in trouble, though. Have you seen the YouTube search parameters gone erratic? Now you can't search based on time and date. Really? You should always do what you like and never be afraid to change it up. If you're not into it, we won't be. If you are into it, we will hear it and we will be. That's a good point. I really appreciate that. It's hard to process, really, but people watch you for your personality more than your info, really. Well, that's true, because, like, there's so many YouTubers, especially in, like, the sort of, like, moderate, conservative, even, like, close to center liberal, like, political commentary sphere. You couldn't get the same commentary and the same opinions anywhere. It really is just our personalities are all that varies. Who here has Instagram? Abrar, my Instagram. I know you're probably just talking to the chat, and I'm just like, I happen to be a place for you to chat. But my Instagram is Chat-Mort, just like my name on here, except it's chat_mort. And I'll follow you back if I see you follow me there. Your computer tells you what day it is. Mine does too, but I'm stupid and I don't look at it. It's really a problem when I'm talking to a girl I like. Apparently 2 conversations a year isn't enough for them, lol. Yeah, it leaves a bad impression. Most people are like, why haven't you responded to me in 3 minutes, you know? In Instagram, I guess. Just Twitter here and there. You're conservative and yet libertarian. I understand that. I understand that a lot. It's like our political spectrum has shifted on so many different, like, axes that all these words mean different things now, you know, because everything has shifted so far left. Look at me. I looked at how my camera is flipped because of the webcam, and I actually gestured to the left. Wait, no, I didn't. Freaking no. I hate everything. I'm so frustrated. Oh my god. Or wait, no, it did work. It did work. It worked. Look at me. I'm so smart. I'm not very smart. This is a bad stream. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. You gotta be careful. Like, there was this really cool guy who showed up on one of my streams recently. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't want anybody to get picked on or anything. But he was like, yeah, this is really cool. I kind of agree with you. What's going on is crazy, talking politics or something. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Everybody talks about the same things, you know, very generic. But then we talked on Twitter, and he's like, hey, I saw your video on this thing. He DM'd me, and I'm like, yeah, thank you. Isn't that a crazy thing? And he's like, yeah, I can't believe it. And then, like, I went back to respond to him. I was like, frick, DMs are real. I need to respond to everybody, you know? So I went and looked at my Twitter direct messages, and, like, we had gone back and forth real fast, you know? He'd said something, and within the same day I'd been like, hey, thank you, yeah, and I responded. So, like, he sent something, then me, and then him, and then me, like, all in within 24 hours, and then I didn't respond to him right away. I just forgot. Like, sometimes for a day I won't even think about Twitter existing. And even when I'm on Twitter, I don't think about DMs a lot. Or I'll see a DM, and it takes me so long. Like, I just get nervous. Like, if you took the time out of your day to go out of your way to something specifically privately to me, I feel like that deserves so much more consideration and respect than just flippant, like, tweets at each other, like, calling each other mean names and things. So, like, I'll read a DM, and I'll think about it, and I'll close my phone, and I'll just keep thinking about it and thinking about it, because I feel like it takes a long time to appropriately respond, and then I'll forget for a couple days to respond. I did that with this guy. I was like, oh crap. So I got back to him a lot sooner than I do to most people. I went to my DMs, and I was going to respond to him And it had been maybe like 3 or 4 days since he sent me a message last, and it was like, you can no longer send this user direct messages, learn more. I'm like, wait, what? Did he get suspended? Did he delete his account? What's going on? So I went to his page and he blocked me. Why? 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 Why did he do that? Like, I was very puzzled. And I think, unless, because we were talking about political stuff and this guy knew my politics, so I shouldn't have like shocked and alienated and enraged him. And even if I had, you would think, like, if you're following somebody and you're like, yeah, you're cool if you're kind of corresponding with someone and getting along with them, okay, you would think if something they said was disgusting to you, you would go out of your way to say, hey, that's really shitty. I thought I expected more from you, or I was wrong thinking you were cool. Like, if you already like somebody and they do something to completely alienate you and upset you to where you don't want anything to do with them anymore, you would think that that person would say something to you about why they're disappointed or why they don't want to talk to you anymore instead of just blocking you. So either I said something political that made him so angry that he blocked me, this dude who I was like, I thought I was becoming friends with, or like we were just gonna like follow each other on Twitter and YouTube and be buddies, sort of. Or he was just so angry that I didn't respond in the same day that he blocked me. So the reason I went on this ridiculous tangent, White Squall, is like, yeah, I'm really bad about that. And I mean, even like in high school, like, I didn't want to be glued to my phone all the time, and people within like 30 minutes, or 30 seconds rather, if you didn't respond to a text, they're like, hello. I can't type that fast. Like, I don't know, it's a strange thing how impatient people are and how offended people get if you don't drop everything and like have your notifications turned up as loud as possible for their one thing. Like, it's very puzzling to me, and I've definitely clearly made some people irritated that way too. It was weird, and I didn't even know this person very well, but it hurt me, you know, like my heart started racing, and it was kind of hurtful that like I thought we were cool, and then instead of just unfollowing me, if he realized, wow, she's kind of awful, he blocked me. Like, that's big. It was very strange. People are just weird, I know, but I want to be more centrist, but after Covington kid situation, I can't imagine giving those people power again. Following you on Instagram. My Insta name is Music4RM Pakistan. I'm gonna copy that and paste it somewhere so I can look that up, Abrar. But thank you so much for stopping by. That's really cool. And thank you for the music recommendations for me and a couple other people. That's really cool, and I really appreciate it. The whole world would be best if everyone practiced NAP, non-aggressive principle. Oh, Nuvi went to bed. I'm sorry. Night night. I didn't night night fast enough. Center, where'd you go? Center right here, but anymore I think I might be far right. It's very confusing politically right now as the ground is shifted apparently. Lol. I need to make a video about that, you guys. That's gonna be my next like scripted video, because people don't understand why everybody's like, you're a Nazi if you even say something like, well, I think taxes should be lower. You're a racist, sexist bigot. You're a Nazi. No. Everything has changed so drastically and suddenly, and everything is so polarized, and I need to make a video about that, because everybody's like, I didn't change my views, but the world is telling me I used to be like a crazy heathen leftist, like Satanist. People would call me that, and now I'm still believing the same things, and everybody's calling me a white supremacist. Like, it's bizarre how fast it's happened. Some guys can't stand a brilliant women, and some women a guy like me. Don't say that. It's hard and it hurts, but people are so weird. People are weird, and on the internet, it's a free-for-all. You know, you can't tell a lunatic like me from a sane person until you're like deep into conversation and you're like, oh my god, I think my life might be in danger. You know, people are crazy, and in the real world, people are weird and shallow and moody and impulsive and judgmental. It sucks. It just sucks, you know. It takes time to find the right person for you, and You know, maybe you actually get in a relationship and it might take a couple to find the right person. I felt like I was never going to find somebody who loved me, who I was happy with. I never thought I did. I didn't have my first kiss till I was almost 19, and I found the person who I think I'm meant to be with for the rest of my life. But it was after I'd given up and thought I could never find someone. You know, it sucks. It just really sucks, but just be kind, be yourself. This is good advice for everybody, not just you, but just be kind and be a good person, and think about like your dream girl or your dream guy, and like what kind of person would they be attracted to. Be that person. Be the person that you would want, like the woman of your dreams to be attracted to, and that, like, that'll start manifesting if you just open yourself up and try to be kind and confident but still be humble. People will be drawn to you, and it'll help you start finding the right person. That sounds like weird, creepy, like new agey life advice, but it helps. You have to start taking on a persona, and you have to choose to be the kind of person that you know, that you want to be, and that you think that a really cool person would find desirable. Could have been a jealous GFBF. I've seen that before, or it could be 100 other reasons. Jamesy, yeah, somebody said that too. Some really cool person who I'm kind of friends with now on Twitter, who's been talking to me a lot, said maybe the girlfriend got upset and made him block you. And it's like, that's weird to me too, because like, just because you're talking to someone of the opposite sex does not mean your conversation is inherently like sexual or secretive or weird. It is so weird. I do not understand it at all. Like, why? Why are people like that? Like, look at me. I'm bisexual. So, should anybody, any girl I'm DMing with too, should they also feel in danger? Like, I'm going to try and steal them from their man or their significant other? Like, just because I'm talking to somebody of the opposite sex doesn't mean I'm pursuing them. Unless, obviously, maybe the guy's got a history of being too forward or flirty with women, and that's why. I need to start thinking outside of what's wrong with me. I need to remember that there's all kinds of like moving parts in the world, and everybody's different. So, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. And I tend to be really naive. Like, I'll say things that I think are totally normal and appropriate, and I do not mean them in a sexual way or a flirty way, and people will think I'm flirting with them. And so, I don't know. I did not say anything to this guy that could be interpreted as flirting. We were talking specifically about a video topic. But you could be right, Jamesy. I know stuff like that happens, but like, if you cannot trust your girlfriend or your boyfriend to even talk to somebody of the opposite sex on the internet without being scared they're cheating, like, you should not be with them. Either that person is not trustworthy or you have serious trust issues. Like, you cannot completely isolate your significant other from everybody of the opposite sex. It doesn't work. Like, and it's ridiculous to try. You know, you should have more trust than that. Shit's crazy. Thanks you for coming to my TED Talk. I had an encounter with a type fast or we break up girl. I missed a comment. No kidding, you did. Yeah. People who are like that angry and entitled are, there's something wrong when somebody expects you to like fling everything aside, even if you're like at work or you're at like a loved one's deathbed. And people who get angry if you don't like drop everything immediately to respond to them are really immature, you know? So I'm glad that you dodged the comment there. Yeah, the most horror story I have is from me not replying to a girl's text for an hour. Long story short, she stabbed her mom in the arm. Oh my god, dude. That's insane. Had too many instances open. Could you type your Twitter @ please? I know you're probably not talking to me, Scrappy, and I apologize. I'm like butting into your guys' conversation here. But I'll put in my Twitter Is that my Twitter handle? I need to check. Michelle's not very bright. This is my Twitter handle if you want to follow me there. I'm not there. I don't know. I'm there a lot, I guess. So if you're talking to me anyway, I'm here. Mort the Homewrecker. Yeah, for sure. You know, somebody as doofy and awkward as me, I am cunning and I am suave and charming enough to be a homewrecker. That's for sure. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I'm not into that. Like, and there's something wrong. I shouldn't say that there's something wrong with me, but I get along better with guys than girls. And it's not because I'm like flirting my way through them, like overlooking that I'm awkward or something. I don't know how to interact with girls as well as guys. I'm more comfortable around guys, and it's probably because I like anime and gaming and stuff like that. I'm not very good at girly things, so I don't know. People don't like that. It is weird how women are like, oh, you can't be friends with her or something. Like, why? Are you afraid that I'm going to make your boyfriend insecure by belching louder than him? What's the problem? I don't get it. Yeah, but you're a hot, blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl on the internet that he likes to listen to, so any women with severe self-esteem problem would see that way. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think that's a weird thing, too. Like, I don't necessarily think I'm very pretty. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be humble. Obviously I deal with a serious amount of self-loathing. You have to kind of hate yourself to be a YouTuber, almost, or at least a serious masochist, which, again, sure. But some people do think I'm pretty. A lot of people don't, but I know a lot of people do. I guess if being blue-eyed and blonde-haired is all it takes, people think I'm pretty. And it's weird how when people think you're pretty, like somehow totally innocent, normal things that everybody does, if somebody thinks you're pretty and you do it, somehow it's inherently sexual. Somehow it's inherently like deviant or like secretive or immoral some way because that person thinks you're pretty. And more than like people who are like physically attracted to me, it's the people whose significant other I'm friends with, or people who are not physically attracted to me. Like other women, typically, if you're looking at things as like most people are straight, think I'm up to something. I'm not up to something. I'm sorry, I'm not like that. My parents had a very bad marriage. I think cheating is awful. I think it's evil. I'm not going to do something that for most of my life I thought ruined my life. I thought destroyed my life. Why would I do something like that to someone else when it made me so suicidal and so bitter and angry that it's lucky that I'm here right now. Why would I turn around and do that to somebody else, you know? But people don't know that. They just see me and they're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't get people. It's freaking weird. I don't understand. Oh yeah, no doubt. If I was dating someone who did that to me, it's over. Lol. Exactly. I just noticed on that website you have open, you can filter by all years back to 2010 except 2012, not 2012. That's weird. You know what? That's a good question. Either 2012 was like their wacky year where they did quizzes like which kink should you look into, or like what persona should you have, or which organization 13 member are you, or like that was their weird year. Or maybe that's just, it happens to be the year when they didn't do any studies, because it does show you what year each of these happened in. Maybe 2012 everybody was laid off or smoking pot in the break room. I don't know. Yes, I was talking to you. You're 2 cents 69. Are you? Okay. It makes me think of Satsu. Are you? I don't know. Strong pimping power of belching confirmed. I'm actually trying not to belch. It breaks my heart because I was damn good at really loud belching. But, it made my heartburn bad. Like, once you learn to, like, suppress your diaphragm the whole way to where when you suck in air, you hear it like demons going down your esophagus to where you get, like, a ton of belching power. Like, I got so good at it that it was giving me horrible heartburn. And I don't want to die of esophageal cancer, so, like, I'm trying to do everything I can to make my diaphragm relearn how to work. Like, I think I have a hernia. Like, I've done bad things to myself from belching too much. I need to stop, so. It's a really long story, but I'll make it succinct. I befriended her because she seemed lonely. I quickly learned why she was alone, insanely jealous. She thought I loved her. I told her I didn't. Then after a little bit of a back and forth, I ran out of credit, and she just went off on her own thinking I was talking to other girls. By the time I got credit, she was going to self-harm to get me to reply. Her mom tried to stop her, and in the struggle, she ended up stabbing her. My God, White Squall, that's scary. I've had instances like that before where, like, I'm always that person because I've been that person who was just desperately alone and everybody hated me. Like, all through school, if I saw somebody who was alone, or anywhere, if I saw somebody who was alone, I wanted to help them. And unfortunately, you do find out, what? Are you going to bed, Nemo? Good night, Nemo. I love you. You're, like, seriously one of the coolest people in the world, and I wish you the best. Until next time we talk, I'm acting like it's a goodbye forever. It's not. Bye, Nemo. What was I talking about? I'm sorry. Like, yeah, if I'm like that. I want to befriend people, and then it's horrible and sad when you find out, like, oh, this is why they're alone. Like, it's sad and awful, and you try to do the right thing, but you find out that everybody was, like, afraid for their lives, and that's why this person doesn't have any friends. It's horrible. But I'm glad you survived that, White Squall, and I'm sorry. Things like that are intense. Like, even if the person is totally, like, dreaming up you being interested in them, it's still horrifying to be, like, you almost feel like you have to help or stop them somehow when they do things like that. Why, hello there. There is the right one. I'm so tired, I don't even know which one it is. Power level 9,000 and growing. Yes. I remember doing that when I drink too much beer. And I love that. The demons going down your esophagus, lol. It's what it feels like. It's scary. Like, it's like the burp in, like, reverse. Like the satanic, like, burp with the audio played backwards when you suck the air in. I definitely gave myself a hernia. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, you did that. You did that to yourself by being a fool. I am sure I gave myself a hernia. Like, I have breathing problems. I think my stomach is, like, up where it's not supposed to be, pushing my lungs so I can't breathe the whole way. That's for another video. That is a big old bombshell there. That's a whole topic that's not to be discussed when it's 4 in the morning and I'm really tired. She made her ex-BF throw away everything related to Evangelion because she thought he liked the main character. Whoa, that's a little spooky. Yeah, seriously, the UK is not... I always wanted to live there, and it's to the point now where I would never travel to Europe. I mean, it seems rude because that's your guys' reality, but I would not feel safe. I would not go out of my way to, like, go to Europe. I don't think it's safe anymore. She's also married with a kid now. I really don't envy the guy and kid. That's scary, too. I know, like, when you know people in school, yes, you only know certain aspects of somebody in school. Like, if you grow up with them your whole life like I did with people I went to school with, you see, there's one guy that I always saw as, like, the guy who threw up his strawberry yogurt in kindergarten. Stuff like that. Like, it's not an accurate picture of yourself that people see who you were in school with. But at the same time, it's like you do see people who you know are like awful mean people, or there's just something really wrong with them. Not to be mean, there's stuff wrong with me too, but and then you see him married and with a kid right away, and like, yeah, they can get divorced, but that kid, that is their whole reality. That's the only mom or the only dad they're ever going to know. That's their whole life. That's how everything is going to be shaped, and that's how they're going to perceive and learn everything, with that person as their parent, as their maker. And that's a really scary, uncomfortable thought, you know? Get your axe, White Squall. They haven't banned them yet. Yeah, so many insane things going on. I live in London. Sadiq Khan is the worst and only getting worse. It seems that way. Scrappy says, I don't want to go to Europe anymore either. Parents won't go either. Dad says he'd feel safer in Turkey than the EU. That's freaking sad. Yeah, no kidding. It is scary. I wouldn't feel safe. If I ever got more popular on YouTube, there's no way I would feel safe. I don't even feel safe in some ways now, like with my political views, you know? Yeah, he does live in the heart of Mordor. That's a good way to put it. It's true. Yeah, I know a lot of people who travel overseas all the time, and I mean, it's wonderful, and obviously I want to be culturally enriched, and I want to see the rest of the world and meet other people and not like feel trapped in this one little reality I've always known, but it's not, I don't feel safe anymore. I wouldn't go out of my way to put myself in jeopardy like that. I'm sleepy. I should leave, TBH. I'll make that easier for you, White Skull. I'm gonna leave too. I'm so tired. I did not mean to stay up till 4 in the morning. I thought I'd be done at like maybe 12:30 in the morning. I did not at all anticipate this going on this long. I don't know. I still want to take a trip to Japan. Japan doesn't give two shits. I'm a center right guy, lol. I would love to go to Japan. Oh my god. I want to get all the exclusive like BNHA merch. I want to get the Pokemon plushies. I want to get the exclusive BNHA merch. I want every Bakugo like figurine and plushie and keychain and collectible that was ever made bad. I want every Mob Psycho 100 piece of merchandise ever. I want every One Punch Man piece of merchandise ever. I want everything. That again is a tangent. I would love to go to Japan. Absolutely. I agree with you. You mean you should leave London or England? Yeah, I guess stopping my stream doesn't help that. I'm so dumb. Oh my god. Sorry. The other day, somebody, like, you know how just random people show up on your stream? I don't know how they find me. How did they wind up somewhere this bad? Somebody showed up and they were like, can you play some music? And immediately I was like, I have a kazoo. I was completely serious. Like, I was like, I don't have any instruments or anything, but I can try and play like Megalovania on my kazoo. For some reason I was really committed to the thought of playing Megalovania on the kazoo. I have done so since then to my cat, and because the kazoo smells bad, she went, and then she left, and I almost like threw up. I was laughing so hard because it was just the most absurd thing to like do and witness. But yeah, this person was like, no, I meant, can you play some background music, like some royalty-free music, or like somebody who doesn't have a label, like a music label? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I have a knack for misinterpreting things. That's for sure. Oh, it's only 8 a.m. there. Okay. Well, it's gonna be 8 a.m. here in like another 5 minutes if I keep streaming. Sorry, yeah. You found me via Magog. That's so cool. Magog is so sweet. Like, there are so many, like, big YouTubers who will do anything for you. Like, Undoomed is the reason I have most of my subscribers. I asked him to, like, critique a video of mine, and he gave me some, like, really good, constructive criticism, and then he just tweeted it out and shared it on Facebook. And that's, like, my second most popular video, and like, I've talked a lot with Irate Bear. He's really cool. and Magog. Like, there are so many really wonderful, kind people. And Jeff and Nick, they're not huge. Jeff is big now, I guess. He got real big after the Jilly Juice thing and all the, like, pseudoscience stuff he talks about. But there are some wonderful people in this community who are really cool and have helped a lot. Write it down. She's giving us her Christmas list. Everything Bakugo, everything Genos, everything Reagan Arataka related. Please, I will do anything. I won't do anything. I'll do most anything. I am a weeb, and I have my fictional husbandos, and I love them more than anything. And I like Speed of Sound Sonic from One Punch Man. I love Sonic. He's like, I have such a soft spot for, like, incompetent bad guys. Especially, like, gorgeous, effeminate bad guys. Like Sonic from One Punch Man. Can you play Megalovania on the kazoo? I might some other time, White Squall. If I do, I'll, like, do it when you're on stream since you requested it specifically. But I'm so self-conscious about, like, humming or singing or anything. Like, even the kazoo is really scary. Yep, Undoomed told me my name is Anubis. I'm no longer allowed to change it via Undoomed orders. Lol. I've changed my name like 4 times. How cool. Undoomed is like, he's like everybody's kind of like hot uncle who would like beat the crap out of somebody who looked at you wrong. What did I just say? Yeah, Undoomed is like super cool. Like, he takes care of all of us, but also his voice is like instant pregnant as soon as you hear it. He's not incompetent, he is just carrying out a one-sided nemesis vendetta. Well, that's true. That's very true. He's not incompetent, he's just... Yeah, he's just completely preoccupied with something that nobody else is, you know, nobody else cares about. I love Sonic, he's so beautiful. I can't believe the next season of OPM is coming out exclusively on Hulu. What on earth is that about? Well, man, I don't know. Sweet kazoo playing. Someday I'll do it, I swear. Yeah. Hot uncle. Okay, then that's the thing. Well, you know what I mean. Like, he's... What we know about Undoomed is undoubtedly very attractive. But he's not like your dad. Like, that would be weird. But he's like a close, like somebody who's always there for you. Somebody who's like protective that you can always depend on. Who always wants the best for you. But also hot. So, you know, does that make sense? Hey, I'm not remotely gay, and I'd fuck Undoomed just for that voice. And I have told him so, lol. He just laughed and said, I get that a lot. I know. He's got a phenomenal voice. Like, just get a really good subwoofer and play an Undoomed video and sit on it. Like, done. Taken care of. But I mean, I never watched them on sites where I have to pay anyway. Lol. That's how a lot of people are, especially with the whole, the Kick Vic thing, the like witch hunt where this guy who, no proof has been furnished by anybody, but supposedly because a bunch of women who have also been accused of sexual harassment say that this voice actor, sexually harassed them, Funimation like dropped him. I know a lot of people are like, I'm not supporting you people if you're gonna do like the ridiculous unproven believe women crap and drop a voice actor who's done nothing wrong provably. So a lot of people are doing that now. I'm gonna sound like Undoomed if I keep talking. I need to go to bed, you guys. What I need to do the spiel. I'm telling Undoomed that how you listen to him next time. That's not how I listen to him. I just thought it would be a good idea. I do not do that, I swear. But yeah, I gotta do the thing. I gotta do the okay, I'm a good professional YouTuber sitting here in my pajamas with my fuzzy blanket and my Kisame ring. I didn't even show you guys my ring. I like have to show everybody obnoxiously my ring. See? It's his Akatsuki ring, because Kisame is also my husband. I've had a crush on Kisame for like 11 years now. Like, I love Kisame so much. Oh my god, he could shred me with Samehada any day and I would come back from the dead and thank him. That's weird. I think I'm starting to understand what you didn't want to accidentally show on that Google window, lol. Shut up! Oh my god. No! I cannot believe how lucky I got that the like spiciest thing is like a G-rated fan fiction from a cartoon that was canceled like 4 years ago. I told you to get off me knife. Now I'm shopping on Amazon. And fuzzy, hell yeah, it's the best fuzzy blanket. It was like $5, and our basement is like below ground, and it's like bitterly cold down here. I like being cold a lot, but it's too cold down here. It's like it hurts. Like I can't type because my fingers like turn blue and go numb. It's real chilly. So what's the thing? Kisame? You're the only person I've ever heard that likes him like that. I know, there's like no Kisame fangirls anywhere. I don't know why. I like characters. I'm not a furry. I don't like mammal looking people, but I like people who are. I like characters who are not human, but not in like a mammal type way. I like Garrus, obviously. Everybody wants to bang Garrus from Mass Effect. Kisame. Who else? Villainous is a cartoon that, like, the pilot isn't even out yet, but I like Black Hat. He's like this hideous, incredibly evil eldritch monster who's also very dapper and wears a top hat. Maybe she's really into fish. I do also like Sidon from Breath of the Wild. I actually got a Switch because of Prince Sidon from Breath of the Wild, so I'm into the fish sticks. That's a joke. A childish, incredibly childish joke. But I mean, you like Rick Sanchez like that. I don't know if I should expect better or not. Yeah, have you guys all heard the story about how my Rick Sanchez fanfiction got in a news article and they didn't ask me beforehand? Like, that was a weird day. Like, there was an article about, like, what's wrong with women that they all want to bang Rick Sanchez? Well, I can't tell you what's wrong with us. But thank you for not asking permission to include my story in your article, I guess. Weird shit. It's weird. This is what I wear on my left side. I'm so scared if I open that, it's gonna go in the wrong window. Like my one that's open for... You know what? I'm a smart girl. I can close that, because this is my world, and I'm in charge of it. I can do anything I want in OBS, and no one can stop me. Oh my god. Where's the... Oh. I can't do everything I want because my sources all went away. Anyway, now I can do whatever I want. Now I'll make myself enormous, and you can look at my greasy face and my weirdly red ear and my tube TV in the background. Here I am. I am your god now. Here, let's put Zim in the middle. What's that? I moved a window that's hidden. And my ferret and Vlad Masters. All my fictional characters I want to marry. Okay, now I can open your link, Scrappy. Oh, that's a cool knife. 9-inch tactical knife. That is a pretty knife. I should carry something like that. I really should, honestly. I did not have a tab of that. I do not have that bookmarked on this computer, Jamesy. I do not. You just wish he was your uncle. No! Come on, man. What the hell? All men fall in the presence of Vampire Hunter D. I know my gynecologist likes Vampire Hunter D. I need to go to bed. That's right. Wham and power or not, lol. So, I think I've sufficiently traumatized all of you for the night. Do you not agree? Are you not entertained? What have we talked about? We've done one quiz. We did one quiz. I was too tired to make sense of any of it. Everyone should buy Shadowworks. It's the best album of all time. It's beautiful. Curly is the coolest, most incredible woman in the universe. She's like if feminists were like a real authentic thing, and most feminists weren't just like awful, man-hating like fake feminists. She's like a truly empowered, remarkable woman. She's what feminists should be. So everybody buy Curly's album. Why do you have a 2-decade-old TV? I don't know. I think it was from an auction or something. I think my mom got that TV because I was living with tech support husbando somewhere else. And my mom got married and she was like, I'm moving in somewhere else and I don't want all my junk. Do you want me to bring it all over to you guys and dump it on you? And I was like, no. But also I'm a hoarder and I don't want you to throw it away. So I got this ancient tube TV. But like when my parents first got divorced in like the early 2000s, like this was all we could afford. So we got it from some like auction really cheap. So it's here. We still have it. The cats jump from the back of my chair to the TV up to like the windows to see out ground level. So we just have it. It's a good question though. I'm very entertained. This is awesome. Thank you, Jamesy. If I can entertain people, if I make like one person's day the tiniest bit more bearable, then all of this nonsense and indignity and shame was worth it. That's so cute. I've been here, but until the Speed of Sound Sonic comment, I didn't have anything to say. I love him. He's a beautiful man. I love incompetent, beautiful men, which makes my fiance sound really bad, but he's not incompetent. He's a very smart man, but he's also very cute. I'm rambling now. Literally a TV from the previous century, the previous millennium. Yeah, okay, but also it works. So that's all I have to say to you. But I gotta go away. It's 4 in the morning. This is absurd and inexcusable. I have to find all of my cats. They're sleeping under things and around things and between and betwixt things. I have to like dig them out of the furniture and throw them out of the basement so they don't eat our cords and electrocute themselves. And I gotta go sleepy. And it's gonna be a big long ordeal because I have to take my medicine, I have to brush my teeth, and I have to take my contacts out, and it's all these things. Again, he's not incompetent. I'm sorry, I know. He's phenomenal at what he does. He just comes off as incompetent, but he's not. I love him. I love him so much. You should try to see what station you might be able to pick up. There's still 2 around here broadcasting in old format. Go to bed. Okay, I'm going to bed. I don't know. No! I was like, why are you saying I like Trudeau? No, he's not my type. He's gross. Yeah, Sonic is an incredible character. I love him. Everything about OPM, every manga one writes is amazing. Like, he truly is the perfect example of how to write OP characters without them feeling boring. Like, Mob and Saitama are 2 of the most wonderful protagonists. He's just a brilliant writer. He's not a very good artist, but he is a brilliant writer. Okay, I'll tell you guys to go to bed too. Go to bed right now. Well, first, if you're not already, like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like, obviously you're commenting already, but if you want to subscribe, I would love to have you guys around again and chat some more, because I am going to stream later this week. And stuff. And if you want to share my stuff, I would love that. But I don't want to be condescending and pander to you if you think I'm an imbecile, which would be fair. Under no circumstances do I want you to be like, fine, just to get her to shut up, I'll do it. But yeah, I do genuinely appreciate you guys showing up, and I hope you're having a good day. And if not, please try to make tomorrow a good day, because you guys deserve it, genuinely. No, White Squall, I don't care that you woke up. Go back to bed. One size fits all solution for everyone here. Everybody go to bed right now. Yeah, Trudeau is effeminate, but I don't think he's pretty. I just don't. I was gonna say sapiosexual. I'm into people for intelligence, but I'm also into. I'm into weird things. You can't be into Kisame and also be into Justin Trudeau. I don't think that works. For some reason, they're just like, it's not a Venn diagram. They don't overlap. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you dearly. And I don't know. That's about it, probably. So this weird. Now I have to do this thing where I I keep talking till I make sure you guys hear the end of my goodbye, and then I hit stop streaming because I'm so sick of it cutting me off in the middle of it. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Why have I done this? I can go to bed and be like, yeah, I went to bed. I don't know what you're talking about. And tech support husbando will like watch. He'll like look at his subscriptions and he'll be like, no, you up streaming all night again. I see this. There's actually a time when he was like, yeah, I was talking to him the next morning because I go to bed later than tech support husbando, and he was like, yeah, I thought you were in bed last night, and then I checked my phone and you were live, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I was, wasn't I? Okay, cool. I'm so sleepy. I need to go away now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you dearly, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out. But Rick Sanchez overlaps with Kasame. I don't know. I like creepy dudes. I like creepy dudes who would like cast me aside at a moment's notice. It's weird. I don't know. Are any of you psychologists? Can any of you help me, please? God help me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. And I will see you later after I sleep for a long time and stuff. And now I sit here awkwardly and wait until I can see on my stream that I am done saying all the things. So then I can hit stop stream on OBS without it cutting me off. Is that happening yet? I'm not sure if it's happening yet. This is going on. Okay, I'm going away now. Bye bye. I love you guys. Good night.